10 set to take the field. We're set for action. Bob Wischusen here with Matt Millen. Quinn Kesnick will join us in just a moment. And Matt, when Steve Addazio took over this BC program a couple of years ago, it was a 2-10 team that he inherited. Obviously with James Franklin, the back end of arguably the darkest period ever in collegiate athletics at Penn State. For both of these programs, to be in a bowl game and have a chance to cap their season this way, very special.
Yeah, it's very special, and it's the right step forward. And when Addazio showed up, what he needed was some way to identify his team. And let me tell you, you can identify Addazio's team very simply. All you have to do is look for the most physical running team on the field, and that's where you'll find them. And what a job they've done very well. Now, they'll do it out of a variety of sets. They like to go tackle over, give you unbalanced lines. They'll give you lots of different looks. But inevitably, it comes down to that tailback grinding it out and who's physically better. But the wild card in the whole thing is Tyler Murphy. Tyler Murphy, the talented senior quarterback, has an ability to beat you with his feet. He's one of those guys that if he gets in trouble and things break down, he will get you. Against USC, he ran for big yardage and was the difference in that game. And so as the season went on, his feet carried them. In today's game, it's not only going to have to be his feet, he's going to have to find a way to be effective with his arm, because Penn State will play him feet only, make your arm beat us.
Tyler Murphy and Boston College will have to play what amounts to a road game today as the Eagles take the field to a chorus of boos. There's not a lot of maroon and gold in the Bronx today, but there's plenty of Nittany Lion blue and white, and this is a Nittany Lion defense that is playing at a level unlike they have played at statistically since maybe all the way back in 1978 when they were playing for a national championship.
Yeah, I remember those teams well, and they had some very good players, and there's no difference with this. This Penn State team has some stars, and it starts up front. Anthony Zettel, you'll watch him tonight, number 98. Austin Johnson inside. Those guys can control the line of scrimmage. And then they give their linebackers a chance to be able to make plays, and none is better, really, than Mike Hull behind them. But if you watch them, the beauty of Penn State's defense is they don't necessarily have to blitz to get pressure. Zettel, Olanian on the outside. On the inside, Austin Johnson, same thing. They're relentless, and they're talented. And oh, by the way, when it does get to the other end, right there, Mike Hull is a guy who's not only the leader of this defense, he's the guy who gets everybody where they have to be. He's the leading tackler. He's an all-Big Ten player and an All-American. He's the real deal for that Penn State defense.
And he's a fifth-year senior who stayed and gets a chance to play in a bowl game. Quinn Kesnick is with us here as well. Let's go down to Quinn.
I'm leaving. I'm not going to stay at Penn State. That was the mindset of Mike Hull 28 months ago after the crushing sanctions were levied against his Penn State football program. He sat down with then head coach Bill O'Brien. The coach pleaded him to sleep on it. Hull went home and his teammates went to work, convincing him to stay. Not only was it in Hull's best interest, but it was in the best interest of the program. Well, here he is. He moved from a fourth-string linebacker to a starter this year at the middle linebacking position, 134 tackles to lead the Big Ten in that category. Pint size, but smart, productive, and tough. He's got great eye discipline. Gets around the big guys in the box. He's the glue of this defense, the voice, and the sense of pride keeping this program together and moving forward, Bob.
Well, it was back on September 8th that James Franklin's team found out that the bowl ban had been lifted, that they would be able to not only play in postseason this season, should they qualify, and at 6-6, they got themselves to bowl eligible status, but that next year, all 85 scholarships would be restored, and Penn State football has a chance to get back to what we always knew it to be. Steve Addazio, you talked about it, Matt. He's done an equally tremendous job. Took over a 2-10 team. Last year at 7-6, Boston College made it to their first bowl since 2008. Now they're here in the Bronx playing in front of a sold-out crowd. And if there's a team that is a reflection of their head coach more so than this BC team is of Steve Addazio, it'd be tough to find.
I love Steve Addazio. He is everything you love about the game of football. It's fundamentals, it's toughness. He tells you what they're going to do, and then he goes out and does it. Each and every week, it's a tough-nosed football team.
Penn State won the toss and elected to take the football. So the Nittany Lions will start. And they'll put Christian Hackenberg out there first. It is the 45th bowl game all time for Penn State. And for Boston College, the 24th time that they've played in a bowl game. And two teams that have a fun history playing against one another. And we are underway in the Bronx. Grant Haley will take a knee. And Christian Hackenberg, 8 touchdowns against 15 interceptions. And yet all of the NFL prognosticators that you talk to think very highly of Hackenberg by and large.
Well, he's got all the requisite skills that you need. He's got size. He's a big target. He's got a big, strong arm to make all the throws. He's not void of movement. I mean, that's not his strong point, but he knows how to manage the pocket. If Penn State is going to have any kind of success here tonight, Hackenberg's going to have to be the guy to ignite it, because this Boston College defense is, I think they came off the bus on a blitz.
Gino Lewis in motion on first down. It's a straight handoff to Bill Belton, bobbing and weaving his way out across the 30-yard line. And let's check our impact players when the Nittany Lions have the football.
Well, Bill Belton and Akeel Lynch are the two that are going to have to do something. They have to have balance in this offense, and Lynch and Belton are going to have to be the guy. And the ones you're going to have to watch on the other side, Stephen Daniels and Josh Keyes are excellent linebackers and are all over the field. Keyes in particular has got a knack for blitzing.
At the bottom of your screen, that's Deshaun Hamilton, the redshirt freshman. #1 in receptions per game this year in the Big Ten. And Hackenberg finds him very close to a first down. That looks to be good enough for a Penn State first down.
Very smart by Penn State. Just if they're going to play him off coverage, Hackenberg's going to take that all game long. So it's 2nd and 5. You're giving up 7 yards. He'll take the 6 and get the first.
Boston College and Oklahoma are the only 2 FBS schools in the top 15 in America in rush offense and defense. So BC can run the ball and they can stop the run. At some point, Hackenberg's going to have to beat them through the air. He's already 1 for 1. And wide open underneath. He finds Belton leaking out of the backfield. BC brought a blitz. And Hackenberg read it, picked up about 7. Justin Simmons made the stop. Let's take a look at our keys to the game.
Well,
brought to you by Franklin American Mortgage.
Yeah, sorry about that. The Franklin American, they also know that Tyler Murphy's got to be able to throw the football. But if Penn State's going to have any kind of success, they're going to have to pick up the blitz like they did on that last play.
BC brings pressure again, and Akeel Lynch a first down to midfield. Another stop made by Justin Simmons. That's a gain of 8.
Yeah, this is a good sign for Penn State, and here's why. Because right there, that was still a run blitz. Watch how they still attack these gaps. You see that? And because of that, Penn State is able to run the ball at that. And there we go. So they're trying to fill all the gaps across the board. Penn State still picking up. Belton with nice patience.
Play action for Hackenberg. Underneath to his tight end, Kyle Carter. That's close to another Penn State first down.
Keyes came off the edge with the blitz. Hackenberg had it in front of him. And so it's just settle down, know where the ball is. You know he's going to come out in the flat. Watch Keyes 25. Just get the ball out.
Penn State going Oregon with quick tempo. That's incomplete through the hands of Gino Lewis. And what a scene this is. That's something we should talk about too. A bowl game at Yankee Stadium, any event obviously at Yankee Stadium, just feels like a big deal, but this was a game that was supported almost instantaneously by the fan bases of these 2 schools. This game sold out in less than 3 days. And this almost feels like Happy Valley East, because it's only a 3.5-hour drive from here to Beaver Stadium. And when you put 108,000 at Beaver Stadium regularly, putting about 50,000 here in the Bronx, that was easy for Penn State fans to do. Boy, did they snap up the tickets fast. A great atmosphere. Jet sweep to Saeed Blacknall. Can't turn the corner. Hammered out of bounds. Right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. And it will be 3rd down and long.
Don Brown, the defensive coordinator for this Boston College Eagle team. Well, let me just say this. They call him Dr. Blitz. And Donnie will blitz anything. And he's got a very good mind. And he understands positionally where you have, when you're going to bring your pressure. And this right here in this area, this is a time where pressure counts.
Third down and a long 10 close to 11.
They're going to play the zone in.
Play clock winding down. Hackenberg has to call timeout. So Penn State spends their first timeout on this opening drive. Good rhythm, though, for the Nittany Lions offensively to begin, but a big third down when we return to the Bronx.
It's the beauty.
Opening drive of the new era Pinstripe Bowl. Penn State has already crossed midfield, but they face a long third down at the BC 40-yard line on the opening possession of the game. Bob Wischusen, Matt Millen, Quinn Kesnick, and the rest of our crew here in the Bronx. Don Brown, defensive coordinator for Penn State. Matt, or for BC, Matt, you call him Dr. Blitz. Does he dial up pressure here?
No, I think this is where he's going to sit still. Let him play into coverage.
Trying to disguise their look, showing Matt Milano with pressure off the edge. Now he backs out, and maybe that bluff creates a false start.
Snap infraction on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
And it was just going to be a four-man rush and dropping. Now you'll definitely see that. They'll still mess with you on the edges. And Milano, number 28, is a guy who has some speed and can get the edge.
BC again. Creeping players up near the line, showing blitz on third down and long. Here they come. A 5-man rush. Hackenberg looking for the home run ball to Geno Lewis. Into his hands and out of his hands at the 7-yard line. A well-thrown ball by Hackenberg, and Geno Lewis had a chance to make a play, and Penn State out of field goal range will have to punt.
He had an opportunity to be able to make this play. It's right in his hands. Sylvia 19 is on the coverage. The coverage is fine. But Lewis had the chance to be able to come down with it, and Hack knew it. It's a heck of a throw.
Another flag thrown before the snap, far side of the field.
There is no foul on the play. It's fourth down.
So now the true freshman Daniel Pasquarello will try and pin BC deep. The intentional end-over-end kick, and Sherman Alston dances out of bounds close to the 17-yard line. So that's where Boston College will begin for the first time offensively, and they begin with a quarterback that was number 2 in America in rush yards by a quarterback, Tyler Murphy, trailing only Keenan Reynolds. But Keenan Reynolds, of course, the quarterback at Navy who runs the triple option. So, Matt, for a quarterback that really does play quarterback, he throws the ball about as often as he runs the football. Tyler Murphy is a tremendous dual threat weapon.
Yeah, and where he's really dangerous in open space. And he has the advantage when things break down, he can beat you with his feet.
Penn State daring Tyler Murphy to throw. 10 players up near the line of scrimmage in the box. And going nowhere is John Hilleman.
That's Anthony Zettel, number 98. Zettel is the guy, he's the guy, the machine of this defense. You're going to watch him right inside. He's got, his first 2 steps are as good as anybody's in college football. That time, they just slanted away from him. They weren't able to get their hands on Zettel, and he makes a big play and sets up this 2nd and long.
16 tackles for loss for the first team all Big Ten defensive tackle, Anthony Zettel. And just like that, BC's behind the chains at their own 11-yard line. Again, it's Hilliman. This time he gets to the corner and gets back the 5 he lost. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Naeem Wortman made the stop for Penn State. Let's take a look at our impact players when Boston College has the ball.
We just saw with John Hilliman, just a freshman, he is going to be something good. That is going to be a special kid because he's physical and he has good speed. Mike Hall, what more can you say about him? He's been all over the field for this team all season long. All Big Ten linebacker, is an All-American. He is the glue of that defense and the general out there who makes all the calls.
9 different publications declared Mike Hall an All-American. What a senior season he's had. Here comes the blitz. Murphy avoids it. Pulls up, hoists one downfield. Was he across the line of scrimmage? Very, very close to it when he let that one go. Intended for Shaquem Phillips. No flag comes out, and BC will be forced to punt.
Yeah, remember, only as long as a part of him is on or behind the line of scrimmage, it's a good throw. And that was a good call.
Penn State forced opponents 3 and out on 37% of drives this season. And BC starts with a 3 and out. Alex Howell punts from the 5, and it's a good kick. Della Valle forced into a fair catch on a back pedal all the way back to his own 30-yard line. A 52-yard punt changes field possession. And it's Christian Hackenberg and Penn State taking
South Carolina over on ABC. Dylan Thompson first to Farrell Cooper, 78 yards.
Well, just a mix-up in the secondary there. You could tell that Miami had a linebacker in the slot over Cooper. He wasn't supposed to carry him all the way down the field, but there wasn't another safety there to slide over.
And it'll be Thompson to Mike Davis. This isn't supposed to work, right?
This isn't supposed to work. Miami not able to get there along that defensive line, and it looks like Mike Davis just snuck up the field and snuck in between the defenders.
14-6 of the Gamecocks. Bob, back to you.
Adnan, thanks very much. The sun is set here in the Bronx. Both teams have punted, and Penn State's got the ball back in the new era Pinstripe Bowl. BC and the Nittany Lions. Second drive of the game for Penn State, starting from their own 32-yard line. They've got some pretty good field position, and they start with Akeel Lynch at tailback. Bob Wischusen in here with Matt Millen and Quint Kesnick. And Lynch looking for some room to the 35-yard line, a gain of 2.5. And again, Matt, we touched on this to start. Christian Hackenberg, 8 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. And yet, if he were eligible for the draft this year, there are some prognosticators that would put him in the first round. Yeah. And it's hard to wrap yourself around that kind of talent, putting up those kind of numbers this year.
Yeah, it is, just if you look at numbers, but scouting is not a numbers game. And so when you look at Christian Hackenberg, you say, okay, what does he bring to the table? And it's considerable. He has all the arm strength you want. He can make all the throws, and he's a good decision maker, good mind.
A good example right there. A long throw on a rope outside the numbers to the true freshman Saeed Blacknall, and a first down to midfield.
And so there are a couple factors that spoke into the lack of success that Christian Hackenberg had this year. Some of it is on him, but his offensive line was a mess. And then the young receivers really had a hard time separating in coverage. When Hackenberg's at his best is right now. A year ago, as a freshman under Bill O'Brien, he gave him what they called mascot, which was going fast, like they're doing right now. And when he can run the show himself, he feels like he's in control, and he's a lot better.
Ryan Gaia stood up, the right guard. Looked like Truman Goodapple for Boston College may have jumped in the neutral zone.
Offside on the defense, number 97. He jumped into the neutral zone, causing the offense to react. That results in a first down.
So Goodapple costs BC 5 yards and a first down.
And so the bigger piece also is this offensive line. And this is the first time that they've been together. Now this is probably the 3 weeks of practice has really helped this offensive line.
Akeel Lynch breaking tackles to the 32-yard line. The thing I think that's interesting about Christian Hackenberg, some of the folks you've talked to said that if he were in the draft this year, there would probably be a debate between maybe he and Brett Hundley as to who the third quarterback would be behind Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston. Yeah. And yet Brett Hundley, he's setting records in the Pac-12 for passing numbers, and Christian Hackenberg barely squeaked over 2,600 yards with 8 touchdowns. Flags down. Hackenberg might have a free play. Looking end zone. And it's incomplete for Hamilton. Let's check the penalty markers. So to me, that's the element that's shocking, that type of talent has been supported so little that the numbers just aren't there.
Illegal formation on the offense, more than 4 in the backfield. That's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, you can see Hackenberg 5 of 7 for 47 yards. The one that he threw right in the hands down on the 5-yard line. He has accuracy. He has an ability to make all the throws all over the field. He sees the field. He's got a very good football mind. All those things Coach Franklin is still tapping into. Keep in mind, there's a big learning curve here. He went from learning a new offense under Bill O'Brien to learning a new offense under Franklin, and he's still learning.
And they're trying to spread Boston College out, play with tempo, and get a really solid BC front line. Spread, they go 5 wide on second down. Off Hackenberg's back foot, hoists one, incomplete, intended for Hamilton.
And had him too. Yeah, and so see what happens when you can spread everybody out. It's easier to identify who's going to blitz. And so watch on the inside. Hackenberg can see the pressure. He throws this to the opposite shoulder. It's right where it needs to be. I mean, it'll be a tough catch, but this kid, he's accurate. He's got what you want.
So maybe we've already seen a play there by a freshman in Deshaun Hamilton. The drop by Geno Lewis on the first possession. Some plays that if they're made for the quarterback, boy, his numbers look a lot better. And now he faces third down and a long 10 close to 11. It's right where Penn State was on their opening possession. Not quite in field goal range, facing third and long. 5-man rush. Hackenberg, long throw to the sideline, and Lewis can't catch up to it. It's incomplete, and once again, they are not in field goal range on 4th down and long.
And that was on Hackenberg. That throw right there, he can't let it take off on him. The protection's there. He's getting a little bit of Milano off the edge of 28, but you've got to feel that stand in there and make that throw.
So again, Daniel Pasquarello, the true freshman, will try and get Boston College trapped inside their 10-yard line. He barely got it inside the 20-yard line on his first attempt from midfield. This time the intentional end-over-end kick takes a hop into the end zone. So that's a big break for BC. It comes out to the 20, only an 18-yard net change of field position for Penn State.
Oklahoma Clemson at 5:30.
Black trivia question. Penn State has played one previous bowl game in a Major League Baseball ballpark. What was their other bowl appearance in an MLB park? So the Penn State aficionados out there, search your memory banks. We'll get to that one a little bit later on. As twice Penn State has flipped the field, but special teams has not won them field position. A touchback on the punt bails Boston College out to their own 20-yard line, and they'll start with Hilliman, and he's got room. There goes John Hilliman off to the races to midfield. Well into Penn State territory before he's finally tracked down by Christian Campbell. That's a 215-pound true freshman rumbling for 44 yards.
Yeah, and that's the good speed that he brings. And Hilliman, as he started to play, you're going to watch it open up right back inside. And as he started to get more playing time, they got more comfortable with him. And what they saw was a guy with great patience and this ability right here. Now, he doesn't have the speed that you go, wow, but he's got enough speed to be able to make the big plays.
Now Miles Willis, the sophomore, takes over to tailback. One play and BC flips the field. Tyler Murphy. Looking for the end zone. Can't drop it into Shaquem Phillips, who had a step. Could have easily been 7 for BC. Instead it's second down at 10.
Yeah, and Phillips, they're gonna come back to that. Phillips got some speed. And that guy has an ability to be able to separate down the field. You think you're even, he's still leaving. Nice route on the safety. They were able to isolate Adrian Amos. And once you get his hips turned, Phillips is gonna beat you.
Now it's another true freshman, Marcus Outlaw, in the backfield to the left of Murphy. Screen caught by Sherman Alston. No. Can't hold on.
Anytime number 6 is in the game, there's a reason he's in the game. They're going to get the ball to him. Sherman Alston is one of those players, if you give him space, he makes something happen. He can create. This is obviously, you know, a drop, but he had the space that he's good in to be able to make a play happen.
Could be some nerves in this game for Sherman Alston. He grew up right across the river in Harlem and dreamt of going to Rutgers, but Rutgers never recruited him. And Boston College got in late and brought Sherman Alston up to Chestnut Hill. 3rd down and 10. They set the screen up this time, a little tunnel screen to Alston, but that's snuffed out by Penn State to the 31-yard line. So now it's 4th down and 5 at the 31. Now BC could not have a more inept field goal group than they've had this season. They've tried 3 different kickers. None of them have been consistent to trust. This would be a long field goal attempt. It looks like they'll go for it.
Yeah, they'll go for it. And Steve Adazio he's played this over in his mind 100 times. He knew in this situation, this is exactly what he's going for.
4th down and 5. A rollout for Murphy. He wants the throwback. It's set up, but they can't execute. Josh Bordner was wide open and had a caravan to protect him down the sideline, and they just couldn't execute the play.
Steve Adazio knows it was 6. All you had to do was make the completion, and they could have walked into that end zone. But they're going to come. Watch Olanian right in the middle of it. He figures it out, but it's too late. And then he's blocked anyway. The ball just has to be 6 inches shorter, and he's still running.
Josh Bordner's 6'4". He's a tough guy to overthrow. So BC turns it over on downs. Had they not scored, they at least would have picked up the 1st down and more. But now Penn State takes over. Counter handoff, Bill Belton. Out close to the 35-yard line, a gain of about 3.5. Stephen Daniels, number 2 for Boston College in tackles this season, made the stop.
Stephen Daniels had a really good year. As the season went on, he played better and better. He's physical. He's a thumper. He's almost 260 pounds. They use him a lot in the run, in the blitz game. And they'll bring him up inside to occupy people, and he's strong enough to be able to take on linemen and disengage and still make plays.
Here's Hackenberg spreading out. Boston College again, empty backfield, 5 wide. Stands like a statue and delivers a strike that's dropped. Is that going to be ruled a fumble? Was Deshaun Hamilton down? And now they come in late and say incomplete pass. He never had complete control. Steve Adazio out complaining. He wants replay to maybe take another look and see if A, Hamilton had complete control, and did he have a knee down? That might have been a fumble.
Yeah, I don't know if he did have control. The official standing right there was facing it, and he's the one who made the call.
Nothing from the replay booth obviously being communicated to the field as of yet. 3rd down and 7, flags down.
That's Nelson, the right tackle, who jumped, and there may have been some other movement.
On the offense, number 59, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So now it's 3rd down and 12.
So an offensive lineman will get jumpy when they know that there's all they've watched on film is blitz after blitz after blitz. And so you want to be able to get in a good position and get that first kick. And Don Brown, he'll give you all kinds of looks. You'll see people walking up in line of scrimmage, walking in and out. Conventionally right here, you'd say, okay, they're going to sit in the zone. But Don Brown sometimes will bring the heat anyway.
BC shows blitz on 3rd down and 12. Play clock down to 5. They rush 5. Hackenberg has man-to-man coverage out on the edge. And drops it in. Chris Godwin down the sideline. That's a Penn State touchdown.
And like he said, dropped it in perfectly. He had one-on-one on the outside. Saw it right from the start. And Godwin beat the coverage and the tackle. Gets on top of Espria, and 72 yards later, it's 6.
You want to know why the scouts are looking a year ahead at Christian Hackenberg and saying, numbers be damned, this guy can play? What we just saw, that was a prophetic.
You've been talking this season about getting separation. This was just nothing but a simple line route. This is just a straight, pure speed route. Espria, 21, got beat on his second step. Godwin has great speed, was able to get outside and kick it into the gear, and Hackenberg just throws it open. Watch this, run to the ball. This is just a pure speed move. You see how Godwin stayed to the inside and allowed Hackenberg to be able to throw it to the outside. And that's a nice route by a young receiver.
Chris Godwin came into today with only 198 total yards receiving this season. His longest play from scrimmage was a 21-yard reception earlier this year. That one was good for 72. And now a surprise onside kick. Penn State trying to steal a possession, and they may have executed it perfectly. A flag drops out. Whose ball is it? Troy Apke down the sideline, just about caught up with the football. Now the officials get together.
He caught it and got out. I don't know if his feet were in. That's what we'd have to see.
A flag dropped out. Maybe he was out of bounds. This is an SEC officiating crew.
The ruling on the field was the player touched the ball while he was out of bounds. Therefore, it is a kick out of bounds. The ball be placed at that spot. Kick out of bounds, 5-yard penalty against the kicking team.
Boy, what a break for Boston College. That was almost perfectly executed by Penn State. So BC does maintain possession.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, that's a good call right there. See, his feet are out when he catches. Right over here. Good call by the officials. You can see the officials right here. They're right on top of him.
So BC ends up with great field position. Just shy of midfield. Trailing 7-0. Late first quarter. Fun start to the new era of Pinstripe ball. Penn State shows pressure off the edge. Hilliman for 3 yards. Austin Johnson made the tackle.
Austin Johnson, Zettel in the inside, and right there, you're always going to see Mike Hull in the middle of all that inside stuff. Mike Hull, we talked about him being the glue of this defense for Coach Franklin, but he brings a lot more to the game than just getting everybody lined up. This is a very instinctive player. He knows, he's a studier of offenses. He knows tendencies. This guy, he's got good game.
There goes Hilliman again. Blowing past the Penn State secondary. He's into the end zone for a BC touchdown.
And that time, I will say wow, because he ran away from everybody. And Amos, number 4, is a safety with some corner speed. But not that. Hilliman flew right past him. He was not going to get caught. They come with a blitz from the outside. Hull gets caught on the inside. Amos is on the wrong shoulder. And then Hilliman hits another gear. Really well done. I like this kid.
True freshman making plays all over the field. Chris Godwin, the true freshman, with the 72-yard reception for a touchdown for Penn State. Now John Hilliman, the true freshman. He already has 96 yards rushing and a touchdown, and we are tied at 7.
One thing you're always going to know about a Steve Addazio coach team, they are going to continue to run the football. It doesn't matter if they've had little success or you lose a yard, or it doesn't matter. He's coming right back to it because he believes in physical play and he believes in physical line play. And that thing started up front and Hillman finished it.
And how about the decision as well by James Franklin to try and steal a possession, give up great field position as a result. It's a risk-reward situation, and BC starts at midfield. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone.
And so what Frank was saying, look, I like the way my defense is playing here. And so he took a little chance and said, okay, my defense will get me out of it. But on the other side, Coach Adazio is saying, look, I like what I saw on those first 2 series on the right side, and I'm going to go back to it. And he did just that. Caught him in a blitz, Hillman 6.
Howell with a knuckleball. This might go out of bounds, and does. So another special teams play that greatly affects field position.
Illegal kick out of bounds on the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So now an opportunity to answer our Aflac trivia question. Aflac. Penn State has played in 1 previous bowl game in a major league ballpark. What was their other bowl appearance here at Yankee Stadium? And also back in 1989 at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego in the Holiday Bowl when they beat BYU 50-39. So good field position now for Christian Hackenberg again at his own 35-yard line. Screen. Spinning is Deshaun Hamilton. Spins again. Lost the football on his way down. BC thought they may have picked it up. It's a gain of 9. He'll be ruled, it looks like, down by contact. And let's check in with Quinn.
Bob, you mentioned the great atmosphere here at Yankee Stadium. It's absolutely electric down on the field. I've never seen a bowl game like this, and I think it's showing in the energy level of both teams. Specifically Penn State on offense, they really struggled. We saw them on November 22nd against Illinois, and they lost that ball game. They lost the following week to Michigan State. I thought they were tired. I thought they looked physically and emotionally like toast. But today, wow, they got a hop in their step, and we've seen the emergence of some of these young receivers. The time off has done the Nittany Lions well.
Now, you're right. It was zero atmosphere in the game that we called in Champaign, Illinois. All kinds of atmosphere here in the Bronx. And how might that atmosphere change if this officials review gives the ball to Boston College? Because that's what was just buzzed down before they got that last snap off. Did Deshaun Hamilton actually cough this ball up? And if he did, was there clear recovery by Boston College?
It's a fumble. But he's on top of it.
So I'm not sure why you would necessarily go to review if Deshaun Hamilton recovered his own fumble. Unless they're just making sure that he had complete control of the football, and that actually, before he went down, there was no clear recovery by Boston College, so it seems like either way the ball's going to be with the same down and distance in the same place.
Well, to piggyback off of to piggyback off of Quinn, there were some following this Penn State team that said that this looked like a very tired team as they went into the season, and they questioned maybe if they were overtraining the team, you know, in the weight room and all the practices and stuff, and so they did have some rest, and I agree with Quinn. I think this does look like a rested team. They have a little bit of pep in their step.
Keel Lynch moves the pile for the first down.
The biggest piece right here is this offensive line has not played well. And so they finally got Diefenbach, 65, over to the guard spot. That allowed Mangiero to go back to the center. Gaia was able to stay at the right guard, 72, and it solidified this group. And when he came, they only played 2 games, the last 2 games of the season, and then they had these 3 weeks to prepare. And it looks to me like they're in a way better position now than they were when we saw them last 5 weeks ago.
Hackenberg under pressure. This time he'll go down. Sacked. Back inside the 40-yard line. Brian Mahalik got there for Boston College. That's a loss of 6.
Nice job by Mahalik coming off the edge, and he should turn around and thank his coverage because there was nowhere to go with that ball. Watch Mahalik. He's 6'9", number 99. Gaia just got turned around. Not a good job by Gaia. But on the backside, nowhere to go with that ball. No separation. And it was like that all the way across the board.
Another blitz coming on 2nd and 16. Penn State rolls the pocket, and that buys Hackenberg some real estate. Chris Godwin with another catch, and now it's a very manageable 3rd down and 3.
A nice job by Godwin on the route to be able to get in and out, and a nice job from Hackenberg once he squared his shoulders to identify him quickly, and the ball comes out. So they're going hurry up so they can kind of, what happens when you go hurry up defensively, you get locked into just a few calls.
And Boston College on 3rd down and 3 wanted to get some short yardage personnel on the field, but this group got trapped on the field, and it's a smaller group. Right at the 1st down marker, Jesse James makes the catch. Let's see where they spot the ball. Manny Esprilla. He drove him back. Is it 4th down?
It's either left foot or right foot. Hackenberg sees it, knows he has a free blitzer. And James, it's a nice job by Esprilla driving him backwards.
Although without measurement, they give Penn State the 1st down.
I was looking at the far side official across from us, and where he walked in and raised his hand, it was on the short side of the 1st down, but apparently not. Jesse James has had a lot of catches this year. I'd like him to be more physical in the run game.
He's got the size at 6'7", 254. Hackenberg looking for a double move down the sideline, incomplete, flag out. Again, Chris Godwin. He's been the go-to guy here in the 1st half for Hackenberg. He was the intended receiver. Justin Simmons was there in coverage.
They like Simmons. He's 6'3" and has nice long arms.
Holding on the defense, number 27. 10-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Yeah, and it looks like those long arms. He's taking away the inside. Now get your hands on him. I don't see that one. That one.
Well, earlier this year, we called Boston College Louisville, and Devontae Parker went off in the 1st half, largely because Justin Simmons and Manny Esprilla, whoever was tasked with trying to stay with Parker, just couldn't get their hands on him.
Yeah.
And so now with Deshaun Hamilton as the go-to guy, you think tonight along with Godwin from Penn State, see if Simmons plays more physically. That time it cost him a penalty, and the check down is there for Bill Belton. He picks up about 7 more. And here's Penn State driving again inside the BC 30.
Just a simple arrow route back underneath. What you do is run everybody out and let your linebackers get their depth. And then you take Belton and just check them down underneath. I like the way Penn State's been calling this game, and I like the fact that they've gone a little up-tempo. That's helpful.
Final minute of the 1st quarter. Hackenberg has completed his last 5 consecutive attempts. Belton brought down behind the line. Evan Kovalik made the stop. It'll be 3rd down and about 4. Capital One Bowl Mania continues tonight at 8 Eastern. On ESPN, the Big Ten takes on the Pac-12 in the National University Holiday Bowl at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. Nebraska and number 24 USC tonight, 8 Eastern. Here on ESPN as soon as we're done here in the Bronx. 8th play of the drive, and it's a big one. Might be the final play of the 1st quarter. 3rd down and 4 for Penn State. BC brings a blitz. Hackenberg able to beat it again. And again, it's the true freshman Chris Godwin there to make the catch. And that's a first down to end the quarter for Penn State. Justin Simmons made the tackle, and a great start to the new era Pinstripe Bowl. Boston College and Penn State going toe-to-toe in the Bronx with 1 quarter in the books. What a terrific first quarter as well for Christian Hackenberg. 150-yard down conversion, but at least for the moment they've lost their left guard as Miles Diefenbach's over on the sideline.
They're going to watch him up top, and Diefenbach has been the key to this offensive line's resurgence. It looks like Bill Belton goes in there to get a cut block and not only cuts the defender, but also Diefenbach as well. When he went out, that started a musical chairs in the season that they never really figured out. And it wasn't until he got back that they had a little bit of solidification of that offensive line. Having him out could hurt.
Hackenberg fumbles the snap, and it looks like Boston College has it. It is a takeaway. Better put, a giveaway by Penn State as they hand it to Boston College. Truman Goodapple with a gift as Hackenberg fumbled the exchange.
Yeah, and that's just all on Hackenberg. Same center, Mangiero. Mangiro's pulling to the right. Hackenberg never had his hands on him. Probably pulled out just a little too soon, and Goodapple 97 comes up with a big turnover.
That's the third drive well into Boston College territory for Penn State that has resulted in no points. It was a big play, a 72-yard bomb. That got Penn State their only touchdown. Hilleman lowers his shoulders and picks up a yard. Naeem Wortman made the stop for Penn State.
Wortman's a good player, and Wortman and Hull are the beneficiaries of 2 good defensive linemen up front. Austin Johnson 99, Anthony Zettel 98. As you take a look at Diefenbach, he's trying to walk it off. It doesn't look good.
You mentioned the ACL that he suffered back in the spring. And when he started the season unable to play, they had little to no experience on their offensive line without Diefenbach. Now they're back in that position for the bowl game. Might be a free play for Boston College as Hilleman tries to turn the corner. Brandon Bell made the tackle, but Penn State had a couple of players look like in the neutral zone at the snap.
Yeah, it looked like Bell was one of them.
Offside on the defense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, remains second out.
He means 26.
And Bell knows it. Tyler Murphy has 1 completion for 6 yards. And yet Boston College has 103 total yards as they have run for 97 here in the first half already. A read option, and Hilleman with another carry. Uses the stiff arm right at the first down marker. Brandon Bell took a right hand to the face from the true freshman John Hilleman, but forced him out just shy of the first down.
Yeah, you just keep your eyes on Hilleman. This is a guy who, now this is a clear shot by a linebacker on the outside. That's a 240-pound guy. He just says, no, you get out of here. Hilleman is one of those guys that when you're going to look back and say, man, you knew it as a freshman that he was going to be this good. That's how good this kid is. He already is there.
BC having a problem getting lined up. Plenty of time on the play clock before 3rd down and 1. Another handoff, lowering the shoulder was Hilleman. And that looks to be good for a BC first down, a gain of 2. Adrian Amos made the stop. He's headed to the Senior Bowl along with Mike Hull.
Yeah, you're going to watch Amos. He knows exactly what he's supposed to do. And what he's doing is he's fitting with his eyes, but you see a nice, sure tackle. Amos really, as the years have gone by, he's gotten to be a better and better player. He's really settled in on that safety spot. He has coverage skills for safety, and that'll help him at the next level.
Play action. A little dump out in the right flat. This one's held onto by Dan Crimmins. Brought down after a gain of 4 by Jordan Lucas. And Matt, you talked about the shot they took earlier to Shaquem Phillips. How much longer before BC dials up another play action over the top deep shot? You know it's coming at some point. They've been pretty run heavy to this point.
45 to 35 yard line, that's where they'll take their shot. And because of that, that's where Penn State will dial up a blitz. But that's the area. They still want to, you still have to pound the football here, try to work your way down. You get to that plus 45, that's where you take that shot.
Tyler Murphy has the first down all the way to midfield and into Penn State territory to the Nittany Lion 48-yard line. It's a gain of 14 for the BC quarterback.
This is where he's really his most dangerous. Tyler Murphy, when he can get to space, and so you go with the play action inside, he's going to run away from everybody. And I'll tell you what Boston College does a very good job of. Their receivers do a great job. You don't have to block someone to their back. You just have to get in their way. And Murphy does a nice job of patiently picking through.
That was his first carry today as he approaches 1,100 yards on the season. He has already set the single season quarterback rush record in the ACC, and he continues to add to it. He also broke Doug Flutie's career rushing record for BC quarterbacks in 1 year. Long throw, and that right at the first down marker, intended for Charlie Callanan on a dive, and he couldn't hold on. It'll be second down and 10.
Yeah, it's just, Tyler Murphy's had a fantastic year with his feet. It's his arm that if he could just have just a little bit more accuracy, this team, I don't know if they'd have lost a game because they were in every game. And he has had opportunities. They just haven't been able to capitalize at all.
11 touchdowns against 10 interceptions throwing the ball for Tyler Murphy. Threw for 1,500 yards, and he has run for nearly 1,100 yards. Draw play to Miles Willis for 3 yards. Now it's third down and 7.
The next guy up for Penn State's linebacker is number 5, Naeem Wortman. Wortman is a 240-pound, 6'1" guy who's got good speed. They have him on the outside. They'll most likely move him to the inside because he's an ability to see both sides. And that's where he's really excelled.
Play clock down to 7 on third down and 7. Penn State brings a blitz. Murphy has some protection but can't find Alston. Another decision for Steve Adazio. Do you punt, play field position, or go for it on fourth down from the 45? It looks like he will go the more conservative route, bring out Alex Howe.
Yeah, so Penn State decides to bring 6. And Alanian does inevitably get a hit on him. What is trying to get to him back underneath. Just can't quite get there. Just a little more accuracy, and this is a different offense.
Della Valle with the fair catch at the 15-yard line. So Penn State with the long field when we come back. Tied at 7 here at Yankee Stadium. Cap a great day of college football Monday beginning at 2 Eastern on ESPN.
Derek Dowry is in now. Diefenbach is still out.
And Christian Hackenberg a little closer to Monument Park than he might like, back to his own 15-yard line. Here at Yankee Stadium, Bob Wischusen alongside Matt Millen, Quinn Kesnick down on the field. It's been an entertaining first half so far, and here's Hackenberg. Plenty of cushion for Deshaun Hamilton and a Penn State first down as Justin Simmons on the back pedal couldn't catch back up to Hamilton. Let's go down to Quinn.
Miles Diefenbach has been taken inside the Penn State locker room to look at that left ankle / calf. As Matt said, Downey now playing left guard. Communication has been excellent so far for Penn State up front dealing with this Boston College blitz.
Quinn, they run it here to Akeel Lynch for 3, and we talked about the injury that Diefenbach, Matt, had back in the spring. He missed the first 8 games, and when he was out, there was no regular starting experience for this group up front. Donovan Smith, the left tackle, was the only member of the offensive line to have started a game when Penn State began the season. Lynch again. Room. Goes to another first down. Maybe a half-yard shy. Brings up 3rd down and 1.
I like that they're putting the game on Christian Hackenberg with that hurry-up offense. He can get his look from the sideline, and they get personnel in and out. But by hurrying up the pace, what that does is it limits you defensively with what you can do in terms of blitzing. You can only run so many check with knees. It's usually a short list.
Now Hackenberg lines up as the decoy, as they're set to go Wildcat on 3rd down and 1. The direct snap, and Akil Lynch can't get the movement up front. Boston College stuffs him at the line. Truman Goodapple there first for BC, and it'll be a punt for Penn State.
Yeah, nice job by Goodapple. Mahalik was also there, but a good job of their linebackers stuffing the line of scrimmage. Really well done. See Mahalik, Goodapple inside, just takes guy and throws him to the side, gets in on that play along with Mahalik.
Their catch immediately signaled for by Sherman Alston, close to the BC 30-yard line. A 38-yard punt. Pretty good field position for the Eagles when we come back. Here in the Big Apple, and they get to cap it with a bowl game at Yankee Stadium. And they are certainly finding different ways to attack each other. It's been lopsided. Boston College on the ground and Penn State through the air.
Yeah, Boston College has to get some consistency in that passing game, and Penn State's got to have more consistency running the football.
Straight quarterback run for Tyler Murphy for about 2 yards. Jason Kabinda, another true freshman, made the stop. Second down and 8. Diamond formation, no wideouts, and it's Silliman for about 3 more, maybe 4. So now it's 3rd down and 4 for Boston College, just shy of their own 35-yard line. Tackle made by Mike Hull.
And this is a situation that where Boston College likes the situation. 3rd and 4. You can still employ the run game. Any kind of pass game. If I'm Penn State, I'm going with tight coverage on the outside. I'm going to force Tyler Murphy to have to be accurate if he does, and then I'm going to get somebody on his feet. That's the big deal.
Starts to sound like Beaver Stadium on 3rd down. A rollout for Murphy. Tries to extend the play with the stiff arm. Keeps it alive. Throws the bomb for Phillips. He's got it! Shaquem Phillips fought off coverage. What a job by Tyler Murphy to extend the play. And BC's got it down to the Penn State 31. Yeah, there's a flag down on the far side of the field. If it stands, it's a 35-yard gain on 3rd down and 5.
Adrian Amos was in good.
Ineligible player downfield on the offense. Number 70. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
That's Aaron Kramer, the right guard, called for the foul, and wipe away the 35-yard bomb from Murphy to Shaquem Phillips.
Well, that's a heck of a. That's what they were looking for. They needed a big play in the pass game, and Murphy responded. Amos is right there, but Phillips does a great job of going up and getting the ball. But because of the penalty, you're going back to 3rd and looks like 11, 10.
Here comes the blitz off the edge. It's a screen back to the other side, too high for Sherman Alston. Wow, and Boston College will have to punt.
Yeah, they had Mike Hull blocked, and they would have had that tunnel screen back inside. If Austin can just quite get that ball, it's a little bit too high, but Austin would still be running.
Trying to angle the punt is Alex Howell. Della Valle is able to field on a fair catch at the Penn State 27. 44-yard kick. We're still tied in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl.
Nebraska battles number 24 USC.
Field, 6:22 to go in the first half. Still tied at 7. And it's been two big plays. A long touchdown run from John Hilleman and a long touchdown pass from Christian Hackenberg to Chris Godwin. Those are the two scores. Hackenberg back to work at his own 28. Play action. Well protected. Again, looking for Godwin. Incomplete. Broken up at the BC 40-yard line. Much better coverage that time. Trying to stay with him was Simmons. Check that Cameron Moore, and Moore did the job.
Yeah, but that's on Hackenberg. He needs to put that ball out in front a little bit because he had the position you needed on Simmons, and just throw it out and just run to the ball. Throw him open. That's all you need to do there, and you had a big play.
Are you surprised at how often he's looked for Chris Godwin? Godwin only made 19 catches during the regular season.
Well, they like that matchup apparently. Godwin does have speed.
He's got 3 receptions for 92 yards and a touchdown here in the first half. Hackenberg goes down again. Second sack here in the first half for Boston College. Back to the 20-yard line. That's Malachi Moore, his 4th sack of the year.
Yeah, that looks like it happened inside with Dowry. Between Dowry on the inside. Now, they're going to have to adjust. When Diefenbach is out of there now, that changes the dynamics of what you do inside. And so Dowry looks like you're going to have to take Mangiero and help him. You can help one inside, but you can't help 2. And so Dowry looks like that's going to have to be the guy that Mangiero is going to have to help.
3rd down and 18. This is a big chance for the BC defense to get the ball back to their offense before halftime. Hackenberg has all day. Now he gets out of the pocket. Flag down.
That's going to be a hold on Penn State. I would decline it.
Holding on the offense, number 66. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So Boston College will get the ball back with 5:23 to go before halftime. They have all 3 of their timeouts, so obviously the clock not a concern. And they start the 3rd quarter with the ball as well. So be interesting to see how both teams manage this last 5 minutes of the first half. Pasquarello, the rugby-style kick. Sherman Alston, fair catch at the BC 37. 5:14 to go before halftime. The New Era Pinstripe Bowl between BC and Penn State here at Yankee Stadium. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. 5:14 to go in the first half. BC and Penn State tied at 7 in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. 2 long touchdowns, 1 for either side. Chris Godwin got deep, got Penn State on the board first.
Hey, Godwin's been making plays here all night. The biggest thing is they haven't been able to go with him. But Hillman on the other side, we've talked about it from the beginning. He's a guy who can make the big play happen, and he's done just that. I expect to see more of Hillman as this game goes on. He looks like he's just warming up.
Well, BC has gotten the job done on the ground. Penn State through the air, and now Boston College with 5:14 to go in the first half. They will start the 3rd quarter with the football, tied at 7, and with good field position at their own 37. And it is Hilleman back in at tailback. Marcus Allen, the freshman free safety, came up and met Hilleman, and now there are flags everywhere. And it seemed like all of those flags were thrown after the play was over.
Well, Marcus Allen came out of that secondary as a safety, and he just lowered the boom on him inside. That was that's called running the lane. And you're a safety, and that's a spot you have to be.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 75. That's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be second down.
Keep your eyes on Ian Silberman, number 75.
Oh yeah, that's right there at the end, and that's late. They're gonna call it, and they did. You can see there's about 6 flags on one throw.
That's just a silly mistake, and that costs Boston College 15 yards and makes it second down and 24. Murphy with a draw play. Miles Willis out to about the 34-yard line, so he got some of the penalty yardage back, but it'll be third down and at least 13 for BC, just shy of their own 35-yard line.
Mike Hull got up, hobbling a little bit, but at least it's better. Still, it's third and about 14, which is better obviously than 24. But this is not a team that you rely heavily with the accuracy of your passing. So if I'm Penn State, I'm going to show pressure, and then I'm getting out and cover with the zone here. And it looks like that's what they're going to do with their cover 2 look.
Empty backfield on third down and long.
And make sure they came with the blitz.
And Murphy off his back foot, checks down underneath to Outlaw, but nowhere near the first down. Barely got back to the original line of scrimmage as Adrian Amos quickly came up to make the tackle. BC goes 3 and out. Now Penn State will get the ball back with plenty of time before halftime.
Bob Shoup dials up a blitz. Naeem Wartman came clean and did get pressure, forced him to throw that ball quick. But he showed a 2-deep look and then did bring pressure, and they're able to get him off the field. That's a nice call by Bob Shoup, defensive coordinator for Penn State.
Alex Howe with a wobbly kick. Della Valle fields in traffic. You would have thought maybe a fair catch would have been wise there. Saved the real estate, goes down at the 33-yard line after only a 31-yard punt. And let's take a look at the latest dish brought to you by Dish Network and see which games jump out at Matt Milliman. We'll have for you coming up not only tonight, the National University Holiday Bowl between Nebraska and USC. But how about the rest of these bowl games? The one that certainly draws my eye, Russell Athletic Bowl. You know, we saw Samaje Perine put on a show for Oklahoma when they played Texas Tech. He'll be going up against Clemson.
Yeah, and then also Arkansas, as the season's gone on, they've been running the ball better and better, and that's been a pretty good, that team has gotten better as the season's gone on, so keep your eyes on Arkansas, Texas.
Hackenberg, play action. Rolls out, finds Bill Belton. No gain. Sean Duggan, one-on-one against Bill Belton, brought him down right at the 33-yard line.
What Penn State doesn't have is a difference maker in their backfield. They just don't have a guy who can make you miss like that out in the open field.
Akeel Lynch goes back in. Again, he's only a redshirt sophomore. Canadian kid that came to the U.S. as a junior in high school and played his high school football just outside of Buffalo for 2 years. And was the Gatorade New York Player of the Year in 2011 before coming to Penn State. Here he is on the carry. Drags a tackler out to about the 38-yard line. That was Josh Keyes that brought him down. Third down and manageable for Penn State, 3rd and 5.
And so that allows you to be able to still use the run game. The play action game is still viable here.
Empty backfield on 3rd down. Looks like Don Brown, the BC defensive coordinator, is dialing up a blitz. Here come the Eagles. Hackenberg with some protection. Throws it low. Just could not have been more off the mark to Chris Godwin. He was wide open. Would have been an easy 3rd down conversion. And Hackenberg just dirted the ball.
Yeah, that's completely on Hackenberg. And he had the time. He stepped up in the pocket, managed it well. They picked everyone up. See, sometimes he didn't drive off his back foot like he normally does. that's one he's going to want to have back.
Flags down on the punt, as the two teams have now combined for 4 straight 3-and-outs, and Boston College has all 3 of their timeouts.
False start on the offense. The team didn't become set for 1 second. That's a 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So plenty of time for BC before halftime, as they put a few seconds back up on the clock. 1:46 to go in the second quarter, and Boston College with all their timeouts. That's Penn State's 5th penalty.
They're changing personnel, which is kind of a smaller group. I wonder if it's not for a return group. Alston's back there is dangerous.
Ascarello with the rugby kick. Alston, this one returnable, drops the ball, picks it back up at the 25. He's heading south instead of north, gets a block. Penn State thought it should have been a block in the back, and they might have a case as Alston gets all the way out to the 50-yard line. It's a 25-yard return after a 42-yard punt.
Well, you don't see a call. There's no flag, there's no call. And I agree with you, Shoes. I think that should have been a block in the back. Right there. Head's not in front. That's Miles Willis, who went back there to hustle for it, but
Brad Bars was the player at 31 that gets blocked for Penn State.
generally what they'll do is if the head has to be in front, and it didn't look like it was.
So a first down for BC near midfield. Tyler Murphy, straight quarterback run off the fake. He picks up about 2.5. Dion Barnes made the stop. And it sounds as if Happy Valley East isn't so happy. BC now wants to call a timeout. So while the Happy Valley natives not so happy here in the Bronx, let's head back to the studio in admin.
All right, Bob, we're always happy back here. Robert Smith, Butch Davis going to join me for the halftime, and we'll show you a devil of a game, what happened with the Sun Devils and the Blue Devils in the Sun Bowl. Also, the college football playoff teams arriving, so we'll hear from Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston ahead of the Rose Bowl, which will take place on New Year's Day, plus the Bluegrass Battle. Kentucky was tested by Louisville, but once again, that stifling defense helping out Coach Calipari and company against Rick Pitino. All that more coming up the half. For now, back to you, Bob and Matt.
Adnan, thanks very much. James Franklin was continuing to plead his case while we were away. And that was, considering where we're at, a really nice group Bronx cheer from the Penn State fans towards the officiating crew. And they're still letting them have it with 1:14 to go before halftime.
Well, my answer to that would be if you completed the third down, you wouldn't have to worry about the punt.
Sounds like the Red Sox are here. Tyler Murphy looking at a blitz and hands right up the middle to Miles Willis on a dive. And Boston College, they don't have the kind of quick strike offense with the timeouts that they've got left to do more you'd think to get to field goal range, as they've already on 2 straight running plays spent 2 timeouts. They only have 1 timeout left, and it's 3rd down and 5 with 1:05 to go in the first half. Let's head down to Quinn.
Bob, and they also don't have a field goal kicker from outside of 40 yards, and even inside of 40. They've struggled all season. So when you think about being Ryan Day, their offensive coordinator, or head coach Steve Addazio, your options here are, I don't think you're thinking field goal. First of all, you got to make the first down, but then after that, what do you do? I think you're thinking 6 after that if they do make this first down, because a long field goal hasn't been an option all season long.
Well, you're absolutely right, Q. They have just really struggled in their kicking game. Coach Addazio has known it, and he's had to use that in the back of his mind and how he calls games all season long. And keep in mind, this is a team that there was a time there couldn't convert an extra point. And so they've struggled mightily.
So you saw Alex Howell, the punter, at one point this year when he was the field goal kicker, he was 5 of 11. And he was replaced by a combination of Mike Knoll and Joey Lawnsford. And on 3rd down, Boston College isn't even going to sniff the first down. Naeem Wortman made the stop at least a yard shy. So now Steve Addazio with a decision to make as the clock winds down. And if you're Penn State, you might think about calling timeout here.
Yeah, they'll go for it here. He has to hurry up. This is a good move. He knows he has to do this.
And now a timeout will be called by James Franklin from the Penn State side. So with 41 seconds to go in the first half, both teams are down to one timeout remaining. So an interesting chess match going on right now between Boston College and Penn State. As BC came up short of the first down, I was almost surprised that BC ran up there to try and go for it. I would have thought they might have just let the clock wind down, forced Penn State to use a timeout. That's what James Franklin did. You think he was worried about them actually going for it? You think he's trying to preserve time should his team get a stop?
I thought it was the right move by Addazio because I think he has good confidence in his defense right now. I think they've kind of settled down to what they're going to do. And I thought that was a nice move to try to go for this. If not, you got 41 seconds and you think your defense is going to be able to hang in there.
Right up the middle, very close, is John Hilleman. And it looks like he's got it with a flag down on the far side of the field as well.
Unless that just fell out of his pocket.
It did. The line judge just picks up the flag. That was not intended to be a penalty called. So BC does move the sticks. They still have a timeout left.
Right here. This is an area where you go the play action.
And quickly spiking the ball is Tyler Murphy. And that saves a little bit of time on the clock as 1 second came off, but BC loses a down as well.
Yeah, remember earlier you talked to me about that play action and be able to get Phillips matched up one-on-one. This is the area that you do that.
Don't you think, though, as bad as Boston College has been kicking field goals, if you're Penn State, just guard the 25-yard line, anything outside the 25. And BC probably can't convert even for 3. This might be a free play for Boston College. Penn State was in the neutral zone. It's a straight run by Tyler Murphy. Looked like Anthony Zettel jumped before the snap. It has been a choppy end of the first half with both teams trading 3 and outs and a bunch of penalty markers thrown.
False start on offense on the center. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 35 seconds.
Yeah, I was watching the umpire, and that's what he called right there. When he dropped his hips and raised his hand. Now, he'd been doing that consistently all game long. But apparently he believed that it made him jump, and so he called it.
So instead, Boston College loses 5 yards. They get a few seconds back on the clock. And here's Murphy off the fake. Out in the right flat. Wide open was Bordner, but he is dropped immediately after a gain of 4. And now it looks like Boston College may have to call their final timeout. And they will, with 26 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, Lucas read that. First of all, nobody went for the fake whatsoever. And so he just, you can see Lucas reads it the whole way, and he just, looks like he got a helmet right on the top of that thigh.
And that's Josh Bordner, grad student, wide receiver. He was the backup quarterback the last 3 years. And then Tyler Murphy came in. And when Bordner thought he might have an opportunity to finally play some quarterback, Murphy transfers from Florida. And Bordner went to Steve Addazio, basically said, how can I get on the field? Steve Addazio said, well, I could use you as part of a wide receiver group. And he's been a really supportive veteran player. Welcome Tyler Murphy with open arms. So you'd like to see him maybe shake this off and get back on the field for the bowl game.
and became a captain and one of the guys of the voices of the team that they listened to.
Well, Tyler Murphy was the backup quarterback at Florida for the last 3 years. Last season finally got a chance to take over when Jeff Driscoll broke his leg against Tennessee, but then Will Muschamp told him coming into this season it was going to be a 50-50 battle. He said, you know what, I want a chance to play. Transfers to Boston College and gets them to a bowl game. 3rd down and 11. No timeouts left for BC. They'll run it to nowhere. Marcus Outlaw's dropped. And let's see if Penn State spends their final timeout. Doesn't look like they will. That might take us to halftime.
And that's Anthony Zettel again. Anthony Zettel, first play of the game, and the last play of the half. First play of the half, last play of the half, makes a big play. And it's just his quickness. And he showed him one thing and took another. Took that hard inside move for a loss.
So the new era Pinstripe Bowl, tied at 7 at halftime, and Quinn Kesnick down to the field.
Coach, you've done a lot of head shaking. How do you best describe your emotions right now?
Well, frustrated right now a little bit. You know, we've had some rough calls out here, and you know, we're herky-jerky. We've got to get ourselves smoothed out a little bit, but we're playing hard. We got a tight game here right now. Got to go in at halftime and get our calls lined up and come back out here, you know. You know, we just got to even our execution out a little bit, you know, and we can run the ball. We just got to get our calls strung together the right way, and we've had some critical penalties that have really come at bad times.
What's the biggest challenge your defense is facing?
I mean, early on, you know, I mean, they're chucking the ball a ton. We gave up a hit on 3rd and 12, you know. They moved the ball a little bit us on early. We tightened up a little bit towards the end of the half, so it's, you know, it's a good football game.
Thanks, Coach. Bob.
All right, Quinn, it's a good football game. We are tied at 7 at halftime here in the Bronx. The second half coming up of the new era Pinstripe Bowl. First, though, it's Adnan Berg back in the studio with the third quarter. We are tied at 7 between Boston College and Penn State. Bob Wischusen here with Matt Millen. Quinn Kesnick will join us again in a moment. A couple of big plays. For the most part, that's what we had in the first half. Penn State struck first through the air. You talked about Christian Hackenberg and what he can do when protected. We saw some flashes of it.
Yeah, and he has all that. The biggest thing for Hackenberg is he just has to be consistent. And you saw in the first half, he made a couple of nice throws down the field, and then when he had the big protection, he was able to take advantage all, you know, for the big touchdown. And that was what they need to have consistently, because later on in that quarter, he had opportunities to keep drives moving, and he missed them. So it's for him, it's about how consistent he can be here in the second half.
And almost all of Boston College's offensive production has been on the ground. They have a freshman, John Hilleman. You said he was one of their impact players, and you were right.
Yeah, and he's easy to see why. He has all the things you need. He's got great vision. Does a good job with balance. He's hard to tackle. And then just when you think he can't run away from you, he does run away from you. This particular time, he gets tackled with an angle, but on the second one, no, it was 72 and out the gate, and nobody was catching him. So that recipe that we saw for success in the first half is the same thing we're going to see here in the second half. So we need to look for consistency out of Hackenberg and continued running success out of Hilleman.
Two very one-dimensional offenses so far. Can they both stay that way? And if they do, which team has the advantage?
Well, yeah, the answer is yes, because that's what they are. So the outlier then becomes, can Tyler Murphy make a big play, and can Penn State control the ball on the ground and have some consistency out of Hackenberg?
Boston College on a hop. Miles Willis fielded a kickoff that might have gone out of bounds, and it might pay off all the way out to the 40-yard line before he's brought down. So good field position for Boston College, and we head down to Quinn.
We're overthinking it a bit on defense. The words of James Franklin, talking about the motions, the shifts, the trading that BC did a lot early in this game on offense, leading to those big Hilleman runs. He said the more complex they get, the more simple we have to be defensively. Injury note and bad news if you're a Nittany Lion fan. Miles Diefenbach done for the day. Coach said that's probably the area that we least could afford to lose a player.
That's a shame. Diefenbach knocked out of the new era Pinstripe Bowl with that lower leg or ankle injury in the first half. Great field position for BC to begin the second half. Tyler Murphy on a keeper. Breaks a tackle. That's a first down into Penn State territory. Brandon Bell couldn't bring him down.
Brandon Bell was playing on the outside, and he jumped inside. See how he got in the wrong position? He jumped to the inside. He has to maintain the outside to force Murphy back to the inside where his help can be. Once he jumps in, Murphy takes the edge. That's called defending the edge. It is not done well there.
And as well as BC ran the ball in the first half, you can see most of it not Murphy. It was Hilliman. And here's Hilliman to start the second half. His first attempt spins for about 7 inside the Penn State 40-yard line. Naeem Wortman on the stop. So, Matt, it's interesting. Tyler Murphy averaged about 90 yards per game rushing during the regular season. BC run heavy. You called it. That's what they would be. But Murphy not utilized in the run game. It's almost like they've got this secret weapon kind of lurking that they could go to add more dimensions to the ground attack that's worked so well.
The one thing that Boston College has done all season long is they're patient with it. They'll stay with this. They're not afraid. Hey, they may not look like gangbusters at all, but eventually it's going to come where Tyler Murphy's feet play a big role.
There he goes again. This time he's bottled up. Might have lost a half yard. Anthony Zettel stayed home and brought him down right at the 40-yard line, so it's 3rd down and 4.
Third and 4, they're still comfortable with it. But as soon as you bring in Sherman Alston, you better know there's a reason why he's in the game. They like to get the ball to him in space. He's a little jitterbug. Make you miss.
Boston College struggled during the season. 95th at FBS in 3rd down conversions. You can see those struggles continuing against a good Penn State defense.
See that up top? I'll take advantage of that right now. They're walked off in space. That's where he excels.
Instead, it's Outlook. Fighting for yards. He's got the first down.
That's all him, too. He was stopped and continued to bull his way forward, and his second effort got that first down. Yeah, he's stopped right here. Amos has him, doesn't wrap up. Now watch how he lowers his pads right here and continues bowling forward. Amos was trying to get the ball out, and he was concerned with getting the yardage, and the yardage won.
Himself another carry. Straight ahead for 4. Austin Johnson wrapped him up at about the 30-yard line.
That's what I like about Steve Addazio. You know, Steve Addazio's game and the way they play gets more effective as the game goes on. They get a feel for you. They start taking body shots, and then he keeps on going back to it. And it may not pay dividends in the first quarter, second quarter, maybe not even to the third. You get into the fourth quarter, and that's when it starts to pay off. And he just keeps on grinding away at you.
Looks like 1950s football at some times, doesn't it? Here's Outlaw trying on a cutback to dive for 2. You got 11 players. They are all either boxed in on either sides of the tight ends or in the backfield. They play in a box, and yet that seems to be the way that they're most comfortable.
And they are. And then just when you think they can't get outside that box, here comes Hilliman. You give him a crack, and he's gone. Or Tyler Murphy makes one guy miss, and now he's got some space to go. Or the same thing with give the ball to Sherman on the outside. He's gone.
Keep in mind, for most teams inside the 30-yard line would be in field goal range. For BC, this might be 4-down territory. They run a little shovel pass, and Outlaw is brought down about 2.5 yards shy of the first down. So from here, you're looking at about a 42, 43-yard field goal. For Boston College this year, that's like a 60-yard field goal.
I'd go for it. I'd continue to run. And Steve Addazio already knew that. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Austin Johnson's made 2 of 3 tackles on this series right here. He's handled that inside very well. Let's see if they can continue on 4th and 3.
Alex Howell has had a chance, the punter, to kick field goals, ineffective. So BC goes for it on 4th down and 3. They're 1 for 2 on 4th down. Play action. And Tyler Murphy delivers a strike to Shaquem Phillips. And BC in the red zone with a 4th down conversion.
Now, he doesn't have to tear it up. All he has to do is make those throws. They're not hard throws. They're not difficult. So they've been running the football, and they get Mike Hull to bite. And that's where Shaquem Phillips is able to take advantage. Because Amos, the safety, sits back. Hull jumps inside, and he finds the void between them.
Back to the pistol now with Hilliman in the game at tailback.
They've been liking to run to their offensive right side with Hilliman.
That's where they'll go. And Hilliman caught, dropped, a loss of about 1.5 yards. Deion Barnes. That's 12.5 tackles for loss this season now for Barnes.
That was a nice job by Barnes defending the edge. Again, like you said, he did that time hold the outside. And you want to force that guy back inside because that's where your help's coming from. And then when he tries to bounce it back out, Barnes is there. But watch the position that he holds. That's well done by Deion Barnes.
Hilliman barely back to the 20-yard line. Now it's 3rd down and long. This is the first time that either offense has been in the red zone today. And BC is faced with 3rd down and about 12 just to keep the drive alive.
Yeah, and they were put in that position by Marcus Allen. Did not make the play, make the tackle rather. He made the play. Again, he defended the edge, forced everything back inside, and sets up this 3rd and 12.
Alston's in the slot left. He's hard to see at 5'6".
Yeah, this is prime quarterback draw territory when you have everybody out like this.
Murphy, long throw to the end zone. He's got Shaquem Phillips. That's a BC touchdown.
And that's a matchup that they really liked. Shaquem Phillips on Marcus Allen. They thought that favored them, and that's exactly what they got, and they were right. Nice job of protection. So he has time to throw. And then it's Shaquem Phillips in on the safety, Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen got caught flat foot. Phillips caught the touchdown.
Shaquem Phillips is from Paterson, New Jersey, just across the river. Began his collegiate career at BC, transferred to UConn, but had 1 year of eligibility left as a grad student to transfer, and went back to Boston College to play his final year. And now he has them ahead in the new era Pinstripe Bowl. Pinstripe Bowl, and if you missed the touchdown, video is now posted on the SportsCenter app. If you have your mobile devices or tablets, whenever you're in need, you can head to the SportsCenter app. Bob Lachou's in here with Matt Millen, Quinn Kesnick at Yankee Stadium. And BC now has the touchdown lead. Very impressive 11-play drive coming right out of the locker room to start the second half for the Eagles.
Good execution all the way around, and a nice job by Tyler Murphy on that drive. 3 for 3 for, 28 yards? But most importantly, on 3rd down, he was money.
Another knuckleball kick scooped up by Grant Haley at about the 5. Cannot reach the 20-yard line. And Bryce Petty leads the explosive Bears against Connor Cook and the Spartans. It's the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Number 8 Michigan State, number 5 Baylor. Thursday, New Year's Day, 12:30 Eastern on ESPN. Part of the New Year's 6.
That will be a good game for that Michigan State defense. I'm anxious to see how they're going to handle and take away those seams from Baylor, because Baylor's seam game, that's their whole offense.
How about the decision we've already heard from Connor Cook that he plans to come back to Michigan State next season? He could be the 3rd quarterback taken in this year's draft had he chosen to come out.
That's a good move for him. He'll get better, and it'll pay dividends.
Akeel Lynch stuffed after a gain of 1 yard by Connor Wojak.
Connor Wojak's one of those just tough guys on the inside. Every time you watch him, anytime there's any kind of scuffle or anything going on, Wojak's in the middle of it.
BC's in trouble. They can't get players off the field. NASCAR pace for Christian Hackenberg trapped Boston College defenders on the field. BC had too many.
Illegal substitution on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
I'll be anxious to see how Penn State adjusts their blocking in the pass game with Diefenbach out. Derek Dowry now goes to left guard. And Mangiero, the center, is going to have to help to that side. So if I'm Boston College, I'm going to bring a little bit more pressure to their defensive left side on Guy. Get him isolated inside. Give him a two-way go and make him have to be an athlete.
Akil Lynch moves the chains for Penn State. And obviously, Quint, we're looking at that offensive line and how they're performing with Miles Diefenbach. You've got a better look from downstairs.
Big question is communication against BC's blitz game. And now as Daniels is down with an injury, James Franklin from Penn State sideline saying, snap it, snap it, snap it, because once again they thought they caught BC in a substitution situation. Here's the deal. BC doesn't match personnel. Coach Franklin told me yesterday they play according to down and distance. So in that last penalty, it wasn't like BC was trying to match personnel with Penn State. Coach Brown just felt that he needed nickel in on a certain down and distance, which is kind of unique from what we've seen over the course of this year. They do not match personnel. They play their defensive personnel according to down and distance.
Yes, so Q, what that means when they're going to go and when they want to get some speed, they bring a speed rusher in. And so that means a different personnel group for the type of blitzes that he wants to run. And a lot of times you'll see that show up a lot of different ways. But Matt Milano, number 28, is one of those guys. And he's a guy they like to bring off the edge. He gives them speed and a speed rusher.
Stephen Daniels would be a big loss for that BC defense if he's not able to return, holding that left hamstring. And Steve Adazio obviously concerned, so we'll step aside for just a moment while Daniels, and following in Kuechly's footsteps, came to BC. He had other offers out of high school, but wanted to do a prep year to get his grades in order because that's how badly he wanted to come to Boston College. Second leading tackler now on the sideline with a leg injury. And running right at the heart of the BC defense is Akil Lynch. Not much on first down. Kevin Cavalier there to make the stop. So if you can't bring Stephen Daniels back in, you've got Sean Duggan to help back him up, but you start to get undersized man at linebacker for Boston College.
Yeah, and keep in mind what Q was talking about earlier. Q was talking about
Hackenberg over the middle to Lynch.
That's a heck of a catch.
And it is credited as a catch. BC sideline thought it was incomplete, but it goes as a gain of 8.
He had some mustard on that thing. And they're going hurry up here.
On third down and short, flags down. Did Penn State penalize themselves by going too fast?
Snap infraction, number 66 on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Well, let's see why they did make it go and hurry up on this thing. Well, he did control the ball. It may have touched the ground. Looks like he had his hand under it. That would be open to debate. But they were trying to make sure that they were going to have the benefit of hurrying up to try to get the snap. See, the hand gets underneath it. About that.
The reception was good for 8, but the penalty cost them 5. So now it's back to third down and 6. 5-man rush comes for Boston College. And there's an NFL throw from Hackenberg to Geno Lewis. Good for a first down. That's a gain of 12.
And a nice route by Lewis. And so you're going to try to work the defender to the top side and then come back. You have Akil Lynch underneath. Lewis comes back off the defender, and the ball's right where it's supposed to be.
Hackenberg slants the other way. Again, it's Geno Lewis. You know, we talked to John Donovan, the offensive coordinator, back when we called Penn State's game against Illinois. And he said 1 out of every 3 or 4 snaps, Christian Hackenberg gets protected, gets to set his feet, and someone gets separation. On a rollout here, wide open Godwin. That's another Penn State first down. And you're right, Matt, you talked about it pregame. You can see all the tools are there when he gets a receiver that gets some separation for him, and he gets some protection and a chance to step up into a clean pocket.
Yeah, he's got it. And keep in mind, he's only 19 years old. He's got to do nothing but get better.
That time, he didn't have it as Geno Lewis watched it sail over his head on the bubble screen.
And he rushed himself. He's got plenty of time. All you have to do is just stay nice and calm, make the step and throw. Don't try to rush yourself. I know you want to get the ball out quick because Lewis has a chance to be able to get some yardage out there, but be in control.
Christian Hackenberg has spread it around to 8 different targets, over 200 yards now. The 72-yard touchdown to Chris Godwin, still the lone scorer for Penn State. Play action and a rollout. Hackenberg bullets one to the sidelines. Stepping back is Geno Lewis. That's another first down for the Nittany Lions. A gain of 11.
There are times when Hackenberg makes it look absolutely effortless. And one of the things they do is they like to dash and roll to this side to try to take away any kind of pressure. And he's very good at throwing to his right side. I would bring blitzes to that side. If I'm going to bring pressure, I'd bring pressure right this way.
And Stephen Daniels back on the field for BC. That's good to see if you're an Eagles fan. BC brings a blitz. Daniels, one of the blitzers. Hackenberg floats it down the sideline. That time, Manuel Espria won the battle with Deshaun Hamilton. It'll be second down and 10.
We don't have all that time. We gotta go.
Hackenberg this season was number 4 in the Big Ten in passing yards and number 2 in completions per game. And that in a season where Penn State struggled offensively about as much as you ever think they would with him at quarterback. 11th play of the drive. Blitz coming. Hackenberg throws right behind it, but zips it through the hands of the freshman tight end Mike Gesicki.
Should the catch have been made? Yes. Should the quarterback have done a better job in putting the ball in a different spot? A, it's behind him, and too much on it. You have time. Calm yourself down and make the throw. Good job, though, by the BC defense to bring the pressure, and he is feeling it.
Now the BC contingent rises on 3rd down and 10. Hackenberg fumbles the snap. Boston College has it. The second time that Hackenberg has not been able to handle the snap. Once under center, now in the shotgun, and Matt Milano with the recovery for the Eagles. And again, Penn State comes away empty.
That is an example of what Quint Kesnick was talking about.
College dipping into their reserves on Quint, what is a very experienced offensive line. For a moment, it seemed like without their centerpiece, but here comes Gallick.
The medical staff and the training staff did a wonderful job getting him back on the field quickly. He had his left knee wrapped. They took the brace off, and then putting the brace back on, it didn't fit. So it seemed like it took forever for them to get the brace back on his left knee. He's also dealing with a pretty significant cut on his right hand, the middle finger, and he's got blood all over his uniform.
And we could see that. That guy look like a football player or what? Andy Gallick is a mess, and he's in there. At center, blocking for John Hilleman, who turns the corner. Hilleman cut down, but not before he got to the 45-yard line and picked up 8. Trevor Williams, cornerback on the left side, held the edge for Penn State, but it's second down and 2.
Well, there was no edge. They were able to get to it right away. And Williams had to reform it down the field, and that's what you don't want. When you're defending the edge, you want that thing defended at the line of scrimmage, not 9 yards downfield.
That's Matt Millen. I'm Bob Wischusen. Quint Kesnick down on the sidelines. Second down and 2 for BC in the new era Pinstripe Bowl. They scored a touchdown on an 11-play drive to start the 3rd quarter. And back to work is Hilleman, bouncing it outside, adding to his totals to the 43-yard line of Penn State before Trevor Williams bumps him out on the near side.
I'd ride that horse all night. I know he's just a freshman, but this is legit player. Watch the vision and the patience. And he just cuts back to that left side, aware of the ball, changes the ball to the outside hand. This kid's got it. That's just a freshman, you're going to hear a lot of John Hilleman in the next 3 years.
134 yards for Hilleman. You wouldn't think he'd be out long. BC has run on a defense that has been tough to run against. And they keep it going here with Miles Willis for 3 yards to the Penn State 40-yard line. Now, Penn State this season, they played Northwestern. That was the only team on their entire schedule that scored more points and gained more yards than they averaged for the season. Penn State held every other opponent they played this year below their average for points and total yards.
And then just like I talked about earlier in the game, this game is starting to look like a Boston College game. Here, the body punches, they're patient with it. And then pretty soon, they're going to break one.
Tyler Murphy makes a move in the open field. Tyler Murphy inside the 10, inside the 5. He's into the end zone. That's a BC touchdown.
And there's the one that's broken. They pound you, they pound you, they pound you. And whether it's Hilleman or Tyler Murphy, somebody makes the big play. Earlier, the first touchdown, it was Hilleman. And right here, it's the feet of Tyler Murphy. Nassif gets caught down to the inside, and then this is just really nice running, nice patience at the end to try to cut back to the inside, which he does, and takes it for 6.
Penn State came into today as the only defense in FBS to not allow a rush play of 30-plus yards. That's a 40-yard touchdown run to go along with 2 40-yard runs in the first half that John Hilleman had. So these are big plays in the run game that Penn State hasn't given up to any team all season, including, by the way, a team that's playing in the college football playoff in Ohio State.
Right now, they're just going to go back to see if his knee wasn't down and the ball hadn't crossed the plane. When he cut back inside, he's going to get tackled from behind. And let's see if his knee is down before the ball gets over. And the knee is down.
Very close.
Yeah, I think they'll probably bring that one back. Let's see. There's the knee. Boy, I don't know.
Boy, worst case scenario for Boston College. It's 1st and goal from about the 1-foot line.
Yeah.
Ruled a touchdown on the field. So video has to be indisputable to overturn that call. And at the very least, Boston College would be sitting on the goal line with a 1st down.
What Boston College does is it gives you 2 different styles to defend. And so you come out with Hilleman and the backs, as we watch Tyler Murphy cut back here, is they'll just pound it, and it makes you have to defend all the gaps. That's where we have to determine whether or not it's over the line or not. And remember, all it has to do is touch the front of that line where that ball is.
And from that angle, I'm not sure how you could tell.
Yeah.
You almost need the shot right down the goal line.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. It's a touchdown.
Yeah.
So this becomes now for Boston College, out of the locker room, 15 second-half plays, 12 of those runs, and 2 touchdowns.
And 3 for 3 on the other 3, Tyler Murphy. And 1 touchdown by Tyler Murphy, and the other one a pass from Tyler Murphy. So the second part of the style they give you is option football with Tyler Murphy. You have to be able to tackle in space. And that one, they didn't.
Even extra points this season have not been gimmies for BC. They've missed 7 coming into the bowl game. But here in the new era Pinstripe Bowl, they are 3 for 3. And Tyler Murphy with the touchdown run makes it 21-7.
240 yards rushing, 239. So you know you're getting great students, number 1. Number 2, you have the maturity, and most offensive linemen mature late. And then number 3, you tie it all together with toughness, and it's a great combination.
A very short kick taken by Von Walker at about the 12-yard line. And he's got room. Von Walker all the way out to the 38. So good field position for Penn State, but now they're down by 2 scores as we head back to Adnan.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. More data, more highlights brought to you by Sprint. Miami and South Carolina in the Independence Bowl. Pharaoh Cooper with an unbelievable catch here He had 9 receptions for 170 yards and a touchdown. The quarterback, Dylan Thompson, will do the rest. Gamecocks' 4th straight bowl victory. They take it 24-21. Bob, Matt, back to you guys.
All right, Adnan, thanks very much. Christian Hackenberg goes empty, and they've gone up-tempo at times. A little bubble screen out to Deshaun Hamilton. And Stutter steps out of bounds close to the 40-yard line for a modest gain. It's not an explosive offense in Penn State, but Matt, at least they have obviously practiced extensively at going up-tempo, and now they're in a position where going up-tempo will help them.
And this series right here is important for them. They have to get points out of this series. They need to get a little bit of the momentum back to their side and some confidence, because right now they've moved the ball, but they've come away with nothing.
And they get to the BC 30-yard line, and then things go awry. Either they go backwards, give up a sack. They've had a couple of fumbles. An under-center quarterback exchange fumbled by Hackenberg on the last series. It was a shotgun snap he couldn't handle, and here Bill Belton can't catch the middle screen. Now it's 3rd down and long. Hackenberg also sometimes struggles with his body language and his temperament a bit, doesn't he, as well? He gets a little frustrated.
Oh, he gets frustrated. And he'll learn. It's a learning. Every time you're out, you learn something new.
3rd down and 9. 4-man rush. Hackenberg floats it down the sideline. Coming back to adjust to the ball is Gino Lewis. And a flag out.
That is all on Gino Lewis. Hack threw it on the backside. Gino Lewis had the wherewithal to be able to come back and get that ball.
The ruling on the field is a catch. After the play, personal foul, face mask on number 9 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So in one swipe, Penn State with a 32-yard completion, and you tack on the 15, they're in the red zone.
Yeah, see, Lewis is working in the slot, and he gets to the top side. This ball is thrown behind him, but his eyes are back looking at the ball. The defender never able to track it, and Lewis makes the catch.
That's Dominique Williams, the grad student safety, number 9 for BC, that came over, grabbed the face mask. So this just feels like a must-have situation for Penn State. Down a couple of scores inside the 15-yard line. Hackenberg under pressure, takes off to about the 11-yard line. Dragged down by Tymere Brown. Gain of about 4.
I actually would like to see Hackenberg do more of that. There are times when they spread everybody out and they go 5 wide and everybody's gone. The middle is wide open. He can take advantage of that. He's not void of movement skills. This is where Don Brown loves the pressure inside here.
Sometimes tough to diagnose for a defense, that bunch formation with the receivers as well. Akeel Lynch right up the middle. A couple of yards shy of a first down, and that might take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. It's a 2-touchdown lead for Boston College. Let's see if Christian Hackenberg can get another snap off before the end of the quarter, and BC again late running guys on.
That was not good by the official there.
Hackenberg slants one. It's tipped right into the hands of Gino Lewis for a Penn State touchdown.
Hackenberg got lucky on that one. That ball was thrown behind, and the tip is the difference. See, he's back inside. He's got perfect position, but he throws it behind him. And when the ball's tipped by Simmons, it goes right into Lewis's hands.
It's almost like Justin Simmons laid it right into Gino Lewis's hands. Geno Lewis and Chris Godwin came into today with 2 combined touchdown receptions on the season. They've got 2 total today. Godwin in the first half, Lewis here in the second half. And that ends the third quarter. We head to the fourth of the new era Pinstripe Bowl. The BC lead down to a score. Quinn Kesnick down on the field. The Penn State fans have a reason to get up and party. And full disclosure, I went to Boston College. Matt Millen played a little football at Penn State back in the day. Well, we're trying to keep it as down the middle as we can and keep our hands in our pockets. No fisticuffs here in the booth.
What about those pom-poms you got in front of you, huh?
It's a touchdown lead for the good guys as we start the fourth quarter, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Christian Hackenberg a moment ago got a tipped ball right into the hands of Geno Lewis. And the fourth quarter begins with BC and Miles Willis returning a kick from the 2. And he gets blasted at about the 19-yard line. So Boston College will start from inside their own 20, and Matt takes us back to the touchdown.
Yeah, let's go back and look to see the official is standing over the ball, and his job is to stand over the ball when the offense has made a substitution. I couldn't tell if they made the substitution. It appears that they didn't. And when that's the case, he can get out, and then it's on the defense to be able to make their substitution, and they're at risk. And in this particular case, it looks like everything was clear. The ball was thrown behind, and you saw what Geno Lewis did with the tip. He comes down with a touchdown. Incidentally, Lewis had no catches in the first half, 5 here in the second.
The question now for the Penn State defense, can they slow down the BC run attack? Off to a bad start as John Hilliman goes right up the middle, and a late flag is thrown as well. This one might be coming back.
Hillman's the real deal.
Holding on the offense, number 70. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
That's the right guard, Aaron Kramer, called for the hold. So now just as big a chance defensively for Penn State as they just had offensively at the other end. The offense capitalized and got the ball in the end zone. Down by a touchdown. And the way that Boston College has run the game, Matt, how big is this sequence for the Penn State defense? You got BC first and long starting inside their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, this is especially right now with this penalty. And it's imperative that BC right here doesn't have to get it all back. Just get part of it back and put themselves to third and manageable eventually.
Miles Willis, nothing on first down. It'll be second down and 20. Anthony Zettel, first team all Big Ten, was there to make the stop.
This all comes down. Deion Barnes gets blocked. See, they did have a stunt going on. Zettel was looping around, and Zettel was able to come inside out and turn this into second and 20.
Draw play. Willis broke a tackle and picked up a yard. Naeem Wortman cut him down, and now it's third down and a mile. And you'd have to think, with the Boston College offense being as run-oriented as they are, this is just play to punt, is it not?
Yes, absolutely. Now, not that they're just going to have a give-up, but you got Sherman Alston in there. I would try to get my head to him. Get the ball in his hands. He's not there now.
Tyler Murphy is thrown for 32 total yards on third down. He needs 20 on this play to move the chains. Play clock winding down. And they go the conservative route, just a straight handoff, and now Penn State has a chance to get terrific field position as they get a 3 and out, and that holding penalty looms large right now for Boston College. And that was Aaron Kramer. You see him run past?
Oh yeah, that's
Steve Adazio. That was the first guy Steve Adazio went out there to have a chat with.
That was the fastest he ran all day.
A wobbly punt. And it takes a good Boston College hop across the midfield stripe. So Alex Howell gets it to the Penn State 45-yard line. A 40-yard kick, and here comes Christian Hackenberg on ESPN.
With Ifo Ekprealomo out now, that secondary from Oregon, they got some holes to fill. Jameis Winston will be licking his chops.
Christian Hackenberg wants to attack that BC secondary on this play, going downtown. And perfect position by Espria. Saeed Blacknall was the intended receiver, but it was like Manuel Espria, the senior corner, ran the route for him.
Well, and then on the other hand, Hack throws it to the wrong side because he's leveraged to the inside, throw it back outside.
All right, back to the playoff. If you had to pick a winner right now, you're sticking with Alabama? You rode that horse all year.
Yeah, I've been saying Alabama all season long, and I still believe that. I think it's the best coached team. I think they've gotten better offensively, and I think they play fantastic defense.
Who's their biggest threat?
Probably Ohio State.
Think Oregon?
Oregon. If Oregon's really healthy, and Marcus Mariota runs like he just did right there, they'll be in good shape.
So Christian Hackenberg doing an impersonation of the Heisman Trophy winner, picking up 8. Now it's a big play here to keep the drive alive. 3rd down and 2. Penn State goes quick. And Hackenberg on time. That is good for a 1st down as he whipped it to Godwin.
Yeah, he had some mustard on that one. I like the fact that they go hurry up sometimes and put the ball back in Hackenberg's hands and mind. He knows where to go with that ball, and he gets it out pretty quick. But when they do that, that's when they're most effective.
They have had BC's defense out of sync at times when they've gone with that NASCAR tempo.
Yes, and I we talked about it earlier. When you go with that hurry up, you only have so many calls on your call sheet for hurry up offense. And pretty soon you get found out.
The screen scooped up by Hamilton. Yeah, there are times, Matt, where even when Penn State lines up to go quick and they substitute, meaning the umpire's going to stand over the ball and let BC substitute, BC's players are still running off the field in a sprint because now they're so worried about getting caught. Hackenberg rolls. That's like stealing. A low throw. Deshaun Hamilton. Did he scoop it up? BC thinks it was incomplete, and it was.
It is. That's on Hackenberg. That you have time. Take your time and make the throw. He's open. Look at the cushion that he's giving. You don't have to rush that thing. That ball should have been caught. It was high enough, but Hack could have made a nicer throw there.
So a big play. 3rd down and 6 at the BC 37 in a touchdown game with under 11 minutes to go. Penn State started with terrific field position. Can they keep the drive alive?
Yeah, see it now. Pack had any kind of run skills at all. With this thing spread out, that middle will be wide open.
Incomplete. Intended for Hamilton. And you'd have to think James Franklin on 4th down and 7 might try and pin BC deep, or will he go for it?
Yeah, he's going to go for it.
He's going to leave his offense on the field.
Which tells you that he thinks his defense is doing pretty good.
Now here comes the punt unit. It was a delayed reaction, but now they're going to kick it away.
That's the smarter thing, because it looks to me like his defense has been getting punched in the stomach one too many times.
This puts some pressure on Daniel Pasquarello, because this decision really only works out unless there's a fake on if he gets it inside the 10-yard line. And it rolls all the way out to about the 15. So BC will be pinned deep, but probably not as deep as James Franklin hoped. Only a 22-yard kick. Beautiful look at the Empire State Building. So you can join us as soon as the new era Pinstripe Bowl is done here at Yankee Stadium over on ESPN 3. And we'll see who hangs on to win the hardware. Boston College beginning at their own 15-yard line with a touchdown lead. And they'll start with Hilliman. Not much. Maybe a yard to the 16. Naeem Wortman and Trevor Williams combined to shut down that hole quickly.
Yeah, you see what they're trying to do. See what they pull the backside, so they're gaining numbers to their strong side. And so if your defense is an 8-man front, which it was there, and it's a 4-4 balance, you gain an extra man by pulling your backside guard around, and you create a 5-on-4 matchup. Penn State was able to step up to the plate there and sets up this 2nd and 9.
Not buying the fake at all was Jordan Lucas.
That's a huge play by Lucas. And he played it perfectly. You have to stay to the upfield shoulder. And if anything you miss, you make him miss back underneath. Now, I want you to watch. He's got to come this way. Okay? And he's got to keep leverage on Murphy. You see how he stayed to the upside, going to force him back to the outside. That's, you take one side, defend that, you make him go the other way, and that's exactly what he did.
3rd down and 15 for BC from the 10.
It's a good call, incidentally, bringing your corner off that. It's a gutsy call.
Here comes the blitz. Murphy swings it. Marcus Outlaw off the sideline. Anthony Zettel eventually tracked him down shy of the 1st down, but at least Boston College bought themselves a little real estate for the punt.
That was a heck of a play by Zettel. To come inside out, he had nothing but green in between, and Zettel got on his horse from the inside and came all the way from the outside. Watch, Zettel's sitting bound in here. He's going to come all the way this way because this thing is blocked well on the outside, and there's nobody downfield. Zettel saved the day.
A wobbly punt. That's out of bounds inside the Penn State 45-yard line. They'll actually mark it out right at the Penn State 45. So great field position for the Nittany. Put them on top.
Yeah, no surprise to start with a run. And Tyler Murphy got the thing going. And then Outlaw on a crucial 3rd down just kept things going. And then 3 for 3 was Murphy on that drive, the 3rd of which was a touchdown to Akeem Phillips. And that's what put us in our Buick drive recap.
What a scene here in the Bronx. This game again sold out in about 3 days. Penn State fans so excited that their team is back in a bowl game. As it was announced back in September that they were eligible to play in postseason once again. And they snapped up every ticket they could. Christian Hackenberg goes to work underneath to Godwin. And he's got 9 yards on 1st down, 1 snap. And Penn State back in BC territory down by 7.
And I would stay with this all game long because they are giving him so much cushion outside.
Instead it's Lynch. That looks to be good enough for a Nittany Lion 1st down. And they'll try and keep the tempo up with 8 minutes to go. Another easy pitch and catch out on the edge to Geno Lewis. Now, at some point, does Boston College not have to be more aggressive with the type of cushion or lack thereof that their corners are giving out on the edge?
Yeah, it has surprised me. It surprised me because they have 2 guys who can cover.
There goes Akeel Lynch. Inside the 15. Inside the 5, at the pylon. Do they mark him out of bounds at the 1? They do. A yard shy of the end zone. And first and goal, Penn State.
And so, Bob, to your point, then they went man-to-man, and they're locked up outside, and Akeel Lynch bounces it. And they get caught in a blitz, and because he's man coverage, a nice job by Lewis of blocking down the field. Let's see if he stays inbound. That's a touchdown.
James Franklin has run all the way down the sideline. He wants it looked at. Now he's going to call timeout. And he is calling this timeout rather than running a play at the 1-yard line. He is calling that timeout for the benefit of the replay booth because he wants this play looked at.
He did not step out of bounds. He's in, he's powering, he's still in, he's in.
Now his rear end hit just shy of the goal line, and obviously backing up. I guess you can make the argument that the ball is short of the goal line when he comes down.
Well, I don't know. That's a heck of an effort by Lynch, though. Simmons needed to tackle him, hit him, instead of trying to just hug him.
This is Akeel Lynch doing a Marshawn Lynch impersonation.
Exactly.
Loeffler, our referee, is on the headset to the replay booth as we speak. So the official review underway to see whether or not Akil Lynch got in the end zone. All Penn State sideline, not surprisingly, thinks he got in. But the ruling on the field was he was down at the 1-yard line.
That's a great effort by Akil Lynch. Just to fight for those extra few yards from about the 6-yard line. Right here. Now he goes backwards. Let's see, we know he's in bounds. That looks like it's 6 to me.
It's so hard to tell because there has to be indisputable evidence to overturn the call on the field. And I guess you have to have a clear shot of the football. The football is the thing. That has to be what clears and breaks the plane of the end zone. And the official, who was right on top of the play, marked him down at the 1. Now, maybe you give him an extra half yard and put the ball at about the 1-foot line. We're about to get the official decision.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. The play is down. First and goal at the 1-yard line.
There wasn't enough there to overturn it. They couldn't be definitive and say, yes, he's 100% in based on the angles that we're seeing.
It's not the first Bronx cheer the Nittany Lion fans have given the officiating crew here in the Bronx. But still in all, though, it's first and goal for Penn State at the 1-yard line.
But lost in all that is Penn State loses a timeout.
Hackenberg in the gun. Lynch gets a chance to finish it off, and BC stands him up. It'll be second down and goal at the 1. Sean Duggan was there to make the stop first, and now a flag comes out late.
I don't know what that's for.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 72.
That is a killer.
That's his first of the game. It's a 15-yard penalty. Second down.
How large does the touchdown, being ruled not a score, but down at the 1-yard line, loom now? This will put the ball all the way back at the 16-yard line. Dominique Williams is still down. And there's the hit on Williams by Brian Gaia that was called unsportsmanlike conduct after the play was over. So from what all of the Penn State fans thought, Matt, was a touchdown, and you thought it was a touchdown also, to being ruled down at the 1-yard line, to BC getting a stop at the 1-yard line, to a 15-yard penalty. Now it's second down and goal, but the ball's outside the 15.
Just adds a little drama. Lewis has been hot here in the second half. He's been the go-to guy all through this second half. Let's see if it's not Lewis again from Hackenberg.
Geno Lewis is the widest man right to the top of your screen. Deshaun Hamilton in the slot right. Godwin to the near side left. Hackenberg up the seam. He's got Hamilton. The redshirt freshman knifes through the BC secondary. And Penn State a point after away from a tie.
And that, my friend, was a great throw because he threw that into a small window. Hamilton made a great catch with his hands. That ball, there was good coverage on Hamilton. Hackenberg right in the needle. Look at that. Oh, boy, I'll tell you, in between two defenders and through the hands of another defender.
Deshaun Hamilton, Geno Lewis, and Chris Godwin all came into today with 1 touchdown apiece, respectively, on the season. They've each got a touchdown in this game. And we are knotted at 21 with 6:48 to go. Christian Hackenberg, touchdown pass number 3. How pretty was that? What a game here in the Bronx. Hackenberg with his 3rd touchdown pass. A moment ago, Bob Wischusen here with Matt Millen and Quinn Kesnick at Yankee Stadium. And we are tied at 21 with 6:48 to go.
Right before that throw, Christian Hackenberg snuck a peek over to Deshaun Hamilton to see exactly where he was and the defender was, and then came back to it with his eyes and threw a laser for that touchdown pass.
Sam Ficken, another returnable kick. Miles Willis from just inside the 5. Willis cut down at the 28-yard line. Talk about eye contact and how important it can be.
Take a look at Christian Hackenberg. He's going to take a sneak peek right out there to Deshaun Hamilton. So he's taking a look where he's at, and then he sees the defender right there. So he knows that he's going to have inside position. Tamir Brown trailed underneath. It went right through his hands, and Hamilton made a great catch in a small window, and we're all tied up.
Hard to believe that ball went through Brown's hands the way it did. Boston College with 6:41 to go. Now at a 21 all time. Bouncing outside, Tyler Murphy. Uses the stiff arm. Forward progress stopped in bounds. So that keeps the clock rolling. And Capital One Bowl Mania continues on Monday. It's a triple header on ESPN. At 2 Eastern, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Texas A&M and West Virginia. Then at 5:30, we go down to Orlando for the Russell Athletic Bowl, Oklahoma and number 17 Clemson. And then Arkansas and Texas cap the night at 9 Eastern with the Advocare V100 Texas Bowl. It's a triple header on ESPN beginning Monday at 2.
And if you haven't seen Samaje Perine, tune in. Oklahoma's got a real live runner.
Play action. Long throw down the sideline. Tyler Murphy drops it in to Shaquem Phillips. But now they say incomplete. He couldn't hold on.
Yeah, he had to maintain possession of that ball all the way through the catch.
Boy, the BC sideline can't believe it, but that call might have been influenced a bit by the Penn State sideline. Let's take another look.
At least the Nittany Lion. Here's the catch. There's the hit. And he doesn't control it all the way through.
Well, the conversation has not ended among the officiating crew.
Pass.
And they stay with incomplete pass. So take a big one off the board for BC, and it's 3rd down and 6. Trevor Williams had the hit on Shaquem Phillips. Would have been a 23-yard game. Also of note, the officiating crew on the review of the in the end zone or out of the end zone for Akeel Lynch gave the timeout back to Penn State.
Oh, there you go.
James Franklin, as it turns out, didn't have to call a timeout to get replay to buzz down in time to go to review. So both teams have all their timeouts left with 6 minutes to go. And now Steve Adazio on the far sideline. He might want the replay booth to take a look and see whether or not Shaquem Phillips held onto the football.
The ruling on the field is under further review. There was no timeout from Boston College. The pagers went off before we got to the coaches.
So the replay booth did get down. Same situation. Now Boston College saves a timeout without having to call one for replay to have the chance to take a look at what we just saw.
There's the catch. Martin, both feet in. He has to maintain it all the way through. So there's the catch. Both feet. Ball, now he hits the ground, and the ball comes out.
I guess the question, Matt, would be, did he make a move in the football field that was common to the game, enough of a football move, that the fact that he lost the ball when he came out of bounds and didn't control it all the way through the catch gets wiped away?
He's down, but the rule says you have to maintain control all the way through the catch. And so when he's down with his once he has his 2 feet in, he takes care of having a legal catch. And then the hit. And now the hit, he has to maintain control of that ball all the way through. And when he starts to fall and hit the ground, that's when it starts to come out, right as he hits the ground. And that's what they called. That's what they must have talked about on the sideline.
And it was a long officials conference. And after all opinions were heard, they came up with incomplete pass.
I think it would be confirmed.
And it certainly seems to be backed up by the pictures you just saw. So here's the official ruling.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's an incomplete pass. The player did not complete the process of the catch as the ball came out after he hit the ground.
So they were listening to us, so that's good.
So now it's 3rd down and 6.
So 3rd and 6 is not insurmountable. And so you have to defend his feet, his arm first, then his feet. Tyler Murphy certainly can get it done with his feet if he gets out in space.
What a football game. The atmosphere here is wild at Yankee Stadium. Again, this game sold out within about 72 hours of the matchup being announced and the tickets going on sale. And you think this game doesn't mean something to these fans and these players? 3rd and 6 for Boston College with 6 minutes to go. Four-man rush. Tyler Murphy. He finds Phillips again. And that's good for a first down. Undoubted this time. A completion out to the 44-yard line, a gain of 13.
Well done by Tyler Murphy. Sets his feet and lets that thing rip. That time he's right on the money. And Jakeem Phillips, no fumble. He knows exactly where he wants to go. He's waiting for him to clear the space. Penn State played a zone, and he just sat down in the hole of the zone, and the ball was right where it had to be.
BC goes unbalanced to the left. And they'll run that way with Hilliman. And he can't even get to the unbalanced line. Austin Johnson drags him down for a loss of 1.5 yards.
I think if there's one underrated guy on this Penn State defense all season, it's been Austin Johnson. He has been steady all year long. He's been dependable all year long. He makes play after play, but very quietly, that guy will be playing in a Sunday theater near you.
Tyler Murphy on a keeper. Gets to the sideline. All the way down to the Penn State 31-yard line. He sucked the entire Nittany Lion defense in with the fake. And with Bobby Wolford helped pave the way, he picked up 26.
And here's the key, right there. Wartman is supposed to get to the outside and keep the edge, and he's not able to do it. They came down inside with a stunt. Wartman's supposed to get to the outside. He got caught. And there's a big first down.
Hilliman right up the gut. A gain of 3. Again, kicking field goals this season for Boston College. Alex Howes 5 for 11. Joey Lonsford is 4 for 4, but he hasn't kicked one longer than 28 yards. And Mike Knoll, that's number 98 over there warming up on the sideline. He's 2 for 3 with a long of 40. So this is not the simple process for BC of just get into field goal range and maybe you win the game. Hilliman bouncing it outside, uses the stiff arm. Out of bounds at the 21-yard line. And a flag comes out. Adrian Amos hit him, and the officials must have ruled that Hilliman was out of bounds. It'll be half the distance and put BC down to about the 10-yard line.
That's a good call by the official.
After the player was out of bounds, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 4 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's the right call. He's going out of bounds, and Amos hits him. The hard part there is Amos started the hitting motion inbound, and then when he takes that step, he's out. That's going to be called today's football specialty.
Now, when Hillman slows up a little bit when he gets to the sideline, it almost does that stutter step. How is Amos supposed to avoid that contact? Or is it the veracity of the contact that drew the flag?
Well, regardless, they're going to make that call.
That's a tough one.
We've seen it all season long.
1st and 10, just outside the 10. Hillman to about the 8-yard line. And James Franklin will run down the sideline, and with 3:07 to go, this pretty conservative clock management for Penn State, spending a timeout this early. So Penn State spends their first timeout. Capital One Bowl Mania continuing tonight, and it is now an 8:10 kickoff. The Big Ten takes on the Pac-12. It's coming up next. The National University Holiday Bowl out at Qualcomm in San Diego, Nebraska, and number 24 USC. Again, it's next as soon as we're done here in the Bronx, right here on ESPN. Kickoff at 10 minutes after 8.
And it was that same USC team that really had a great start until they ran into Boston College. Boston College put a thumping on them. They beat them 37-31. Nobody expected it. Didn't sound like much of a thump, but it really was. Tyler Murphy had some big runs in that game. There to go unbounced again to the right side.
Hillman again trying to get outside, cuts it back inside, and gets buried at about the 9-yard line, and James Franklin immediately spends timeout number 2 with 3:01 to go. Do you hold on to a timeout for your offense, or to use them all here and try and save as much time as you can?
Well, I would think you're going to hold something for your offense, although in college football the clock stops with the first down. So you can kind of milk it a little bit that way.
A reminder, if you'd like to see exclusive coverage of the 2014 New Era Pinstripe Bowl Trophy Ceremony presented by Capital One, we'll have that for you right here on ESPN 3 as soon as we wrap things up at Yankee Stadium.
I would think in this situation, Tyler Murphy's speed becomes a big part of the equation. So you have to defend the edge. You cannot let anybody outside that edge and force things back inside. And if you are on the backside, you have to stay deepest to deepest in case he poops.
10th play of the drive. How close do you think it's got to be for Steve Adazio to feel comfortable kicking a field goal here?
I don't think Steve's going to feel comfortable at all.
Until it's through the uprights.
Exactly.
Murphy on a keeper.
There it is.
To the 5-yard line, reaching to about the 3. Brought down there. And it was Marcus Allen that saved the touchdown.
And he still got the edge. That's a big tackle by Marcus Allen.
So Boston College will let as much time run off the clock as they possibly can. And they've got themselves in a position where the field goal is little more than an extra point. And it'll be Mike Knoll, the true freshman from Copley, Ohio. 2 for 3 on the season. He has missed a couple of extra points this year as well, with the left foot from 20 yards away to try and put BC on top. Play clock down to 2, and Boston College executes it perfectly. Knoll puts it through, and with 2:10 to go, BC's got the lead by a field goal.
Sets up a fitting ending for this Pinstripe Bowl. The ball will be in the hands of the sophomore, Christian Hackenberg, who's had a 300-yard passing day here today. And he's had some comebacks in his short career. Let's see if he can add to it. This game has gone just like we thought it would. Powering the football, being patient with the football. Tyler Murphy make a couple plays. They've got 24 points. Now, the other side of the ledger is Christian Hackenberg, just a sophomore, has the big arm, has had a nice day, he can turn it into an outstanding day by having another fourth quarter comeback. You can see what he's done so far.
And how much would Christian Hackenberg like to do exactly that for the 5th time this season? You know, for especially these seniors who stayed with this program for Penn State, as we said, during the darkest time that probably any collegiate program has ever gone through, and just notified back in September to start their season that, yes, the bowl ban had been lifted by the NCAA and that they would have a chance to play in postseason should they qualify. And those seniors, especially like a Mike Hull, that stayed with this program all the way through, it'd be a bitter pill to swallow to lose your final game. But Christian Hackenberg, the sophomore quarterback, has got another chance with the football with 2:10 to go.
Well, the good news is if you're a great player, prove it. Now's the time to prove it.
Van Haley. Out of bounds at about the 23. And this back on September 8th, James Franklin talking to his team after word was announced that the bowl ban had been lifted.
All the men, all the men. Come on up here. If you were a part of the program when the sanctions hit, come up here. We just want to take 5 minutes and thank you guys for everything you guys have done, sticking with this program, holding this program together through all kinds of turmoil. What you guys have been, you deserve this.
So that was the day it was announced, and James Franklin paying tribute to the players that stayed at Penn State. And here's Hackenberg going to work. Hamilton tripped up at the 30-yard line.
They're going to have to go hurry up this whole time.
They've only got 1 timeout left, and they might need that to stop the clock just to get their field goal unit out on the field. Hackenberg calmly to Jesse James, and he gets the clock stopped by stepping out of bounds at about the 37, and that is good for a first down.
Keep in mind it would have stopped also because he did get the first down, had stayed in bounds. So in situations like this, you have a minute and a half, you have enough time, take what the defense gives you. At one point, you're going to have to try to take a shot someplace. But right now is not the time. Just keep moving it methodically down the field. If they're giving you 10 yards in a cushion, take it. And here they're not.
Hackenberg over the middle to Lynch. That's a gain of only a couple.
He's got to hurry up here.
Josh Kaz made the stop. Now the field goal situation for Penn State, radically different than that for BC. Sam Ficken was second team All Big Ten and was number 1 in the league at 82%. Hackenberg to the sideline, in stride, it's Godwin. Well into BC territory. Out of bounds at about the 35-yard line.
That's the one you were looking for. He was going to take that sooner or later. Godwin was able to shake the coverage, and the ball is right where it had to be. Once he gets out of bounds, he sets this up.
Only a handful of yards away from field goal range. With plenty of time on the clock, into timeout. Hackenberg looking at a blitz, throws behind it to Lynch, and there's a good tackle by Manuel Espria. That's a gain of a yard, and that will wind the clock down a bit. Inside of a minute to go now. Hackenberg out of the pocket. Held onto the football and got in field goal range. With 41 seconds to go. He's still thinking he's got enough time to try and win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And he should think that way.
It's 3rd down and 2. Lynch brought down shy of the line to make, so it will be a field goal attempt for Sam Ficken. He was a semifinalist for the Groza Award. And Penn State will call their final timeout.
It's going to be a 43-yarder.
That puts a little bit of time up on the clock still for BC, even if he were to make it. I'm surprised that Penn State wouldn't have let the clock wind down a little bit more, considering they only had one more timeout to call. BC still has all three of their timeouts. And Quint, you're down there. It's a chewed up field, and it's still a sizable field goal attempt coming for Sam Ficken.
Ficken's career long is 54. This year, he had a 50-yarder against Temple. He's 23 of 28 this year, but keep in mind, he's had 3 kicks blocked, and 1 he didn't even get to attempt because of a bad snap. So in effect, he's only missed 1 kick that he has hit and gotten over the line of scrimmage. Trajectory has been an issue for him all season long.
The National University Holiday Bowl underway over on ESPN News. Ficken from 44 yards away for the tie.
Got it.
Not enough O's in smooth. Right down the middle for Sam Ficken. And we are tied up with 20 seconds to go here in the Bronx.
Not enough O's and smooth. And don't step on your pom-poms there. That's not right.
So Boston College has their 3 timeouts. There's still 20 seconds up on the clock. But barring a miracle, this game's going to go to overtime.
You were right on that one. He hit that one, and there was no doubt right from the time it came off the foot.
That BC sideline knew it the minute he hit it as well.
Yeah, you're right.
That was an NFL-looking kick from Sam Ficken.
Remember a few years ago, they lost some games because he couldn't get it up off the ground. Just a few years back, just what, 3 years ago?
Well, this season he was #1 in the Big Ten at 82%. And he is now 8 of 9 on field goals between 40 and 49 yards this year. So he's been about as automatic as Penn State fans could ask for, and he ties the game up. Willis from the 3. Barely gets to about the 21, maybe the 22-yard line with 13 seconds to go, down to 12 seconds to go. And a reminder, National University Holiday Bowl is underway. Nebraska and USC currently airing over on ESPN News, on ESPN3, and of course on Watch ESPN as well. As soon as we are done here in the Bronx, that game will be right here on ESPN. But this game's going to overtime, as Boston College is not going to, even with a couple of timeouts, risk a turnover. They've got all 3 timeouts, but Tyler Murphy will take a knee, and we'll keep playing football here at Yankee Stadium.
So Hackenberg does come through for the game right now. He's 31 of 45 for 339 yards. But most importantly, at the end, when he had to make plays, he was money, especially on that one out, on the out route, where he picked up about 25 yards. And so from this point, none of it, all that stuff doesn't mean anything, because all that matters is from here forward.
Yeah.
Well, let's head down to Quint.
Bob, it'll be interesting to see how these coaches and captains handle this toss here. If you're Penn State, I think you want to operate in the closed end of the stadium off to the left where home plate is. It's been the noisiest pro-Penn State fans. If you're BC, you probably prefer going towards center field and Monument Park. A little quiet out there other than the bands.
And Quint, what about the field and the field conditions? If it comes down to trying to kick a field goal, at least looking from our angle to the left, heading towards the home plate end of the stadium, it looks like the field's a lot more chewed up going in that direction than it is going towards center field and Monument Park. I don't know. Would that come into play at all, you think, in terms of which end you choose to play on?
Well, it's cut up pretty good. A lot of divots. It's loose and chewed up. You know, this field is not really winterized and it rains so much before Christmas. The far left end zone is probably the worst and softest part of the field. But if this comes down to a field goal kicking contest, that really favors Penn State.
There's no doubt about that. They've got a kicker that on his worst day is well accomplished compared to any of the three kickers that Steve Addazio has used this season.
Interestingly, in that last drive, Boston College did not blitz Hackenberg very much at all. Hack had time to be able to step back there and make some throws.
Does either team's style of play favor them in overtime?
I still like the way Boston College runs the football. To me, that's just stick with what got you there.
It's a score from the 25-yard line. Each team has a timeout left, and each team has their challenge left. Remember, in the third overtime, you're going to have to go for 2 for the points to count, okay? You're the visitor, so you're going to call the toss. Heads or tails, same as before. Blues heads, that's tails. Your options are going to be offense, defense, or choose an end, okay? What's your call? Tails. Tails is the call. It's heads. You won the toss. You're going to be playing defense. You want to play down here. Okay, so you're going to go that direction. So put your backs to the Penn State wins. It goes on defense. Boston College will be first down at the 25-yard line. Good luck, gentlemen.
So we'll see who can hold serve here in overtime. As the new era Pinstripe Bowl, it's extra football between Boston College and Penn State. And Tyler Murphy will have his opportunity first. That means Christian Hackenberg, Matt, will know exactly what he has to do when he gets the football in overtime number 1.
And I'll tell you this, in overtime number 1, when they get the ball, Don Brown will be blitzing. That I will guarantee. I thought Hackenberg did a nice job here today of being calm under the pressure. A couple times he rushed himself, times when he didn't even have to rush himself. And then I also thought from the flip side, Tyler Murphy here in the second half with his feet has been fantastic. Made some critical throws when he's had to.
It's Hilliman behind Murphy to start at the 25-yard line in overtime. Hilliman up the middle for a yard. Net by Johnson.
Austin Johnson again. The big man. Good player. Penn State seemingly always has some good defensive linemen. And Austin Johnson's another one. They always talk about it as linebacker you, but they've had good defensive linemen for the last few years coming out of here, and he's the next one. He and Zeller.
Play action for Murphy. In the flat, open, but taking a hit at about the 21-yard line is Dan Crimmins. All in all, he picks up about 3, so it'll be 3rd down and 6.
We saw that earlier in the game in the exact same result. It was Border the last time. This time it's Crimmins. He's got to try to block Deion Barnes, slow him down. Both times, Lucas has made the play. Sets up this 3rd down.
In the slot left is the man you've been pointing out, Sherman Alston, Matt.
There's a reason why he's in there. Right up here. Keep your eyes on him.
Murphy instead comes back to the right. Dudek makes the catch, breaks a tackle. David Dudek, his first catch of the game, and it's good for a touchdown.
That's a heck of a throw by Tyler Murphy. That thing was on a laser. Small window, and Dudek came up with this. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, man, right in between the both backer and the corner. That is a great throw by Tyler Murphy.
You were looking for the short, dangerous weapon for Boston College. Just circled the wrong one.
Exactly.
Dudek at about 5'10", got loose, scores the touchdown. But the extra point is missed. And that is not the first time we have seen that from BC this year.
Penn State knows it has to score a touchdown, so it's 4-down territory. And it also knows the extra point wins it.
Mike Knoll, the left-footed kicker, just a straight hook of the extra point. A moment ago, he hit a field goal from almost the same distance to put BC on top. That's the third time he's missed an extra point this season.
And the hold is good. The hold wasn't bad. The laces were away from the kick. He just shanked it.
So now it's Christian Hackenberg, whose team will start with a false start. Donovan Smith, the left tackle, flinched. So it'll be 1st and 15 at the 30.
False start on the offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
The 8th time this season that Boston College has missed a point after. Hackenberg looking for Lewis in the end zone, or at least close to it, and it's broken up at about the 2. Tymir Brown. Perfect coverage on Geno Lewis. 2nd down and 15.
He's lucky this wasn't a pick. That should have been a pick. Actually, that's a very good job of Lewis turning into a defender at the end of that play. He knew he couldn't let that thing happen, so he just grabbed it and pulled it away.
Hackenberg rolls out. Intended for Lewis. Now it's 3rd down and 15.
Doesn't have to get it all back right here. You don't have to try to get all 15. Just get half of it. Put yourself in a position on 4th to be able to do something with it instead of having to get to 15 yards.
Does Don Brown bring pressure on 3rd and 15?
I think the answer is yes. He's lived by it all season long.
Only 2 down linemen. How many rushers come? They'll bring 5. Hackenberg wide open. Jesse James runs a man over and gets to the 1st down marker. 1st and 10, Penn State at the 14-yard line.
And that's what you don't see out of Jesse James very often. That's the time when he had to be physical, and he did it. Lowered his shoulder and ran him through. Well done by James.
Hackenberg not wasting any time. It's Lynch. Brought down for maybe a loss of a half yard, back close to the 15-yard line by Duggan. Lewis on the screen, breaks a tackle, out of bounds at the 10. With support by Tymir Brown. Manuel Espria was there first. It will be 3rd down and close to 7.
It's 4-down territory the whole time.
BC late getting set. Hackenberg into the end zone. It is caught. It's a touchdown. Kyle Carter's got it. And the Nittany Lions are a point after away from a win.
Good coverage. It was not bad coverage at all. Carter's in the slot. Looks like he's going to go for the pick, and instead, he just runs it up. And the coverage is right there, but Carter goes and grabs the ball out of the air. And we're 1 point away from this being over.
Sam Ficken down the middle, and Penn State wins it in overtime.
And the difference in the game is a plant foot from the kicker. Flickens, his plant foot sticks. And for Boston College, his plant foot slides. And it's a 1-point win for Penn State.
What a football game. As we take a look at our player of the game, brought to you by Capital One, then it's the sophomore quarterback. James Franklin got a tremendous day from Christian Hackenberg. 4 touchdown passes, the game winner in overtime. And let's head down to Quint Kesnick, who's in the middle of that Penn State celebration. Quint?
Bob, we haven't seen emotion like this. Coach, how do you describe this scene right now?
I'm just so happy for these seniors and these players that have been through so much in their careers. So to end it and leave like this, I couldn't be more happy and proud of them.
Down 21-7 in the third. What made the difference down the stretch?
We never panicked on the sideline. Guys kept believing. You know, it wasn't pretty, but we found a way to get the dub.
To get to a bowl game was a big deal, but to win one, what does that mean for the program?
It's never good enough just to get to a bowl game. You got to win the game.
Coach, go celebrate. Quite a scene down here.
Thank you.
There's Christian Hackenberg. He is our Capital One player of the game. 369 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Matt Millen, he took a step today. In his maturation process, what a performance.
Yeah, and against a team that loves to blitz, but down the stretch, when he had to make plays, these last 2 series, he was money. And that the last couple throws that he had on the 3rd down, right where it had to be, and then this touchdown to Carter, and then the extra point is the difference in the game. We thought these teams were evenly matched, and we were right. And this could have gone either way. And watch the plant foot, good by Flicken, and it's up and through the goalpost. And they're an extra point better than Boston College.
Sometimes it's hard for the head coach to watch, but I think he realized quickly what the outcome was.
Yeah,
Sam Ficken knocked it through.
He heard that it was good.
Steve Adazio can be certainly disappointed in the outcome, but he can't be disappointed in the effort of his team. These teams played like this was the national championship game.
Yeah.
That was the kind of effort we saw from both sides.
Coach Adazio's team, I'm a big fan of Steve Adazio and how he coaches his football team. They played tough. And look, this could have gone either way the whole time. And here's the missed extra point and the difference in the game. And I want you to watch the plant foot to see if it moves. And by the plant foot, it'll be the kicker's right foot to see when he slides. Just a little bit. And that's the difference. You see how he slid there?
8 missed extra points this season for Boston College, and that last one cost them mightily in overtime. So Penn State wins the new era Pinstripe Bowl, 31-30 here at the stadium.